Hey, Pete. Hey, Poho. Tell them what you did. It was a big blockbuster made cause Ebbs was lackluster, so in the end he just had to go. Yeah, that sounds about right. They sent him to New York and they landed Ryan Strome. Now he's got a song on the show. Right. Tell him what you did. Does all kinds of drills that give you all kinds of thrills, but the thrill he's never known is a thrill like he's dreaming. All the fans are screaming. It's another goal for Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome. Wanna see him dangle Ryan Suter. Strome. Wanna see him be 97 shooter. Yeah. Strome. Wanna see that smiling face. It's another goal for Ryan Strome. That's a very, very good thing.
We know this sexy old lady named Renee, baby, who likes to wear men's jeans. She's got a Ryan Strome road jersey, and it's bursting right at the seams.
Now this song's designed to blow your mind, but your minds won't really be blown like the blow you'll be feeling at Rogers Place, screaming, it's another goal for Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome. Wanna see him dangle Ryan Suter. Strome. Wanna see him be 97 shooter. Strome. Wanna see that smiling face. It's another goal for Ryan Strome.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Nielsen Show. 6 o'clockers unite. Great to see you once again. We were just talking before we went on about how it would be nice to have a 6 o'clocker lager right now. And we are, our launch party's in like 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks for the 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks away for the 6 o'clocker lager, and then we can be crushing our own beers through the month of December, buddy. It's going to be pretty nice, isn't it?
6 a.m., 6 p.m., hey? Who's to,
it doesn't matter.
It's the beauty of the labels. It opens it all up, right?
6 o'clocker lager. You want to have one at 6 in the morning like us? Feel free.
Who cares?
Want to have one at 6 p.m.? Feel free. You want to drink it any other time? Also feel free. There's no restrictions on the 6 o'clocker lager. Dusty and Lieutenant Eric coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studios, where they got that ghost pepper chicken sandwich. They also got the 3-piece bone-in chicken on special right now. Nothing like a good three-piece bone-in, right?
Bone-in, you get the little, a drum, a thigh, and
I
maybe
think
a wild
you can
card
negotiate
piece.
more for the breasts.
Yeah.
So it works out extremely well at Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. They got that new one coming up down here on the corner where the are we over that way? Man, I have once we sit down here, I have no recollection of where we are.
Twists you around in here, hey?
It really does. I never so that's south. Behind us is south. Well, that's easy enough. Looking forward is north. I can remember that.
We
now.
need a compass added onto our studio clock.
Yeah, we do, exactly. So anyway, they got a new Popeyes coming down where the Red Robins used to be. So that is exciting news as well. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. That will get you in to the Paris Jewelers inbox. It's that time of year. You start shopping for your honey or your hubby or whatever. You can get that done at Paris Jewelers, Canadian, family-owned, 23 locations across the entire country. Very convenient. You can find them wherever. Flexible finance options available, including do not pay for 1 year in store. So you could buy something for this Christmas and not have to pay until next Christmas. I think that's how it works.
Pretty much.
So that'd be pretty cool to check out.
Yeah.
That should be a lot of fun. So that's
to the deal.
That's where you text us, 780-218-9999. One of you will end up winning the text of the day for A and a W. And get yourself a gift certificate to A and W. You can go pick up some breakfast, pick up some lunch, try their new chicken crunchers that they got going on over there as well. And, of course, hit up a latte or a coffee. I'm back on the tea right now. I'm back on the teas. You did it to me. What was it, 2 days ago? You went between shows and you're like, hey, do you want a tea? I said, yeah, I think I'll have a tea.
You were a little hoarse, and I kind of said, peppermint with a little honey, the splash of honey there.
It's the way to go.
You're back.
I usually get a double dose of honey. And then, the tea is absolutely delicious. Now, that's not what you have in your drink this morning. You and Mr. Lean hitting the good stuff early. What is this? This is the Baileys in the coffee?
I sniffed him out.
This is what we're doing here?
Sniffed him out.
You did? Yeah, this was rather incredible.
Yeah, I'm like a hound dog.
Tell your story.
I know we were just in here and we're prepping for the show as we do, and I could smell Christmas cheer, that type of thing.
It was incredible. He was like a hound dog. I'm sitting here and he goes, Something smells, what did you say? Something smells sweet?
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, that's what you said. Something smells sweet. And I was just like, wow, thanks, Lieutenant Eric. I'm wearing Axe body spray today. But then you could smell that Maddie, who drinks heavily during the show.
Oh, yeah.
You could smell that he had Bailey's already in his coffee.
I think it's just a cup of Bailey's.
He
just likes the liqueur.
That would make
creamy
sense
taste
from a smelling perspective. I think that would probably make sense.
I shocked myself. It's not one of my stronger scents, the smelling.
No, it's not.
So,
But you still got that. You can't put Bailey's in tea, right? That would be weird.
rocking. You can try it, yeah.
No, I don't think that.
Give it a shot.
I don't think so.
Maybe not a peppermint.
I don't
but,
think that mixes too well.
Peppermint and Bailey's, that'd be a nice Christmas. It's like a candy cane.
Evil Twin in the Nasty Chat, 8 p.m. in Thailand. Pretty soon we're going to have the map. And now in this moment, when that person's watching in Thailand, you could run over and put a pin in Thailand on the map, which is, I would think we probably have that map
I
here
know it
within a
has
week.
nothing to do with what we're doing, but I'm really low-key looking forward to this map thing.
I think it's cool to see Edmonton sports talk around the world.
The pins, you know?
Yes.
It's a good conversation piece. I think it would open up everything in this in the office. You bring clients here. You say, "Hey, look at this is the world. This is where people are." I've been there.
So many different places. Yeah. Sailor is in. It says anybody that is still pissed off about the Oilers, just listen to "Break Stuff" by Limp Bizkit. You're welcome. Remember "Break Stuff" by Limp Bizkit? They're pretty heavy stuff.
That's why we had Creed on the show for times like this. But I guess Limp Bizkits and soothe what you're
and Limp Bizkit probably would help you in those situations as well. Bailey's in chocolate tea tastes really good. That went in from Megabird, also likely a heavy drinker. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Macramalla's on today. Let's dive into a few of his intros. You can send those over as well. We'll get to those. They're already rolling in. Mandate John, EST legal analyst and guy who has ruined 3 TVs trying to roast marshmallows on the Fireplace channel. That's ruined a good one. 3 TVs. Yeah. That's a nice one because it doesn't have anything to do with an orgy or anything. It's just a good old-fashioned Macramalla intro.
For all age groups.
Yeah, I think that one works extremely well. So send your Macramalla intros in. We will lay out the show for you this morning. If you need a 6 o'clock conch today, 6 o'clockers, let us know why. Why do you need a conch? Something special happening? You need a little bit of a pick-me-up? 780-218-9999 or in the Nasty Chat today as well. How's my hair look? Can I go half-free today? I mean, there's really nothing there. It's not messy, is it? Perfect. All right. I don't know. I'm liking hat-free shows lately.
Well, you're good from the front on as long as you don't have like a back camera.
Yeah, I know. Do I have a little?
That's okay.
What do they call it? A rooster tail?
Nobody knows. It's like you're not wearing pants for shows, right? Nobody knows.
Yeah, nobody knows that either.
The front on and
we'll be okay.
Where you going?
Yeah,
it's great. Looks great.
We'll lay out the show for you. What do we have to discuss on the Oilers front? Oh yes, they decided to save the season by waiving Jack Campbell, who technically at this moment has a better save percentage than Stuart Skinner. But we'll get into that as we work our way through the show today. Jamie McLennan should have a few good takes on that.
Well, he said this was step 1.
Just step 1. Is that what he said on TSN last
with
night?
Hayes and the O-Dog.
On Overdrive.
Step 1, yeah.
Oh, wait, I guess that's his show, yeah. Step 1.
Step 1.
Okay, well, fun game then. What's step 2?
If he said things continue going on this path, which again, we don't know if that's the case.
That's a big if.
Well, but
now they have to.
The way they're playing,
they have to take on the Red Hot San Jose Sharks now,
who they're closer to in the standings than the Red Hot Calgary Flames.
By the way, Calgary Flames, Colorado Avalanche, New York Rangers, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we call a lock shot partner parlay. Boom, hit that bad boy last night. Cool Bet Hotline of the day. Boom, hit that one last night. The Cool Bet Lock Shop Play of the Day, which goes out on the Cool Bet socials, hit that one too. We'll talk about our Soccer Champions League expert a little bit later on in the show today.
Going on, hey?
Mr. Lean is as cold as they come. We'll get into that as we work our way through the show today as well. I do like the guy in the Nasty Chat earlier today who was like, no, the Sharks figured out how to play defense before us, which I thought was pretty funny.
Is it good they get that win out of the way now, prior to Thursday, or
are they a group with confidence? Are they a group with confidence now? I have a lot of time for the theory of the San Jose Sharks claiming Jack Campbell, and he puts up a 56-save shutout against the Oilers and the number of perimeter shots they like to take.
Sometimes you fall on the sword, and I think for Oilers and Oilers fans, you fall on that sword for the league and the story that it would right? I mean, that's making everything. That's getting on your TMZ front page, Dusty, for crying out loud, right? Campbell, San Jose, waivers, claim, big win.
Yeah.
The league needs it.
Yeah.
ESPN needs that.
They need that. They got to have it. 6 o'clock hour is kind of wide open. We're obviously going to get into this Jack Campbell stuff. We'll work our way through that. I actually ran the Jack Campbell buyout calculator last night, and we're going to get to the results on that around 6:30 this morning. We'll maybe talk a little bit about what our next draft is going to be. We're a week out from the last draft. We'll take maybe a look at the calendar here and figure out if there's a draft looming somewhere in late November, maybe right before we launch the 6 o'clocker logger. Jamie McLennan is going to pop by just after 7 o'clock. If waiving Jack Campbell is step one, and a step two is eventually required, what is a step two? All right, we'll find out. Also, would you start Pickard against the San Jose Sharks? Or would you put Skinner in because you know you're going to need him, and this is a chance for him to get a dub? There's a case to be made either way. Once again, what a brilliant time to discuss goaltending.
It's just that you start Skinner, and then the whole I get the money. We'll talk about the calculator and everything and how close we are to adding another hot body, right? We're getting there.
Yeah.
Taking a few bags of cans, and you can.
If they were able to waive a few more core players, they might be able to call up a fourth liner. Free advice for that local slumlord, Damon Bunting. We'll get into that. What do you need help with? Fantasy football, fantasy hockey, life advice. Let us know what you need help with. We'll go there for Damon Bunting. Buying or selling? We joke about the slumlord thing, but he's really the exact opposite. Buying or selling, Bunting's your guy.
That's the joke.
Yeah, what is it? What's that Tommy said? He's just got Jason Moss a new place. If this guy can sell and buy a home with Jason Moss, he can work with anybody. So, yes, visit DamonBunting.com. Eric Macramalla coming up in hour number 2 as well. A kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. 3 questions too many for the great staff over at Park Mazda. Lieutenant Eric for United Sport and Cycle will be rolling out some weekly rankings of power today. That's going to happen around 8:20 this morning. And then a special Wednesday edition of Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. And this is not because I'm not around on Friday. I am around on Friday for our show, and then I have to head to the airport after that to get to Winnipeg for the very exciting and anticipated West Final in the CFL. But Scott isn't going to be available on Friday, so we told him, you know what, buddy, slide on in on Wednesday. Eric's already drinking. I have no problem drinking on a Wednesday at 8:30. So, yeah, we're going to get into. Plus, we're going to do a new episode of the Achy Breaky
Yeah,
today.
we'll be in the barn later.
And we got a box that has a bag of 2 Hoots hard iced tea in it. And we're going to get into that a little bit later on today. And then yada, yada, yada. We're all taking Ubers and cabs home this afternoon.
Yeah, the lock shop picks today will be something.
Let's just keep
You'll be
rolling.
going to some weird and disturbing places.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I think that
Very fun. No, that's
Yeah, no, I think that would work
Capital
out pretty
FUN.
well. All right, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, or in the nasty chat as well. Luna's in and says, enjoy the 2 guys on the goalie yesterday, especially where Nielsen grilled Gager on the whole #fire Dustin Schwartz debate. And, it was an interesting conversation yesterday. And this guy, I guess, kind of ties into, Jack Campbell. And Jack Campbell wanted to get his game on track. And he actually looked pretty good in the preseason.
Yeah.
First game was a throwaway. Second game, he looked really good. That game against Nashville, I know they scored a bunch of goals, but Campbell was brilliant in that game. And then it's kind of fallen off. And obviously, anytime there's issues with goaltending, and this just in, there's always issues with goaltending here. They bring up Dustin Schwartz. And, I understand. We were talking about, what does a goalie coach really do? I thought Gager made a really good point about it, is that, you become a good goalie on your way to the NHL. That's why you get there. It's not like you get to the NHL and they're like, you might work. We're going to put you with Schwartzy or some other goalie coach and really launch your career. A goalie coach does a lot of advanced scouting on other goalies and then obviously tweaks and things with that. But basically what I said, because I was Cass and Gager were kind of on, is it really going to make a difference if you fire Schwartz? And I said, but you have to see the frustration level here for people. It's been coaching staff after coaching staff after coaching staff rotated through. You can make a case that all of those coaching staffs had an issue with goaltending, and the only common denominator there is the fact that their goaltending coach is the same guy. Now, I don't know the level of impact that a new goaltending coach would have. I don't know if it is, in fact, Dustin Schwartz who is holding them down. But what I said yesterday on 2 Guys on Goalie is simply the fact that I get it. I understand the level of frustration because it does look a little strange. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Pickard comes up. He's had pretty good numbers. He's had really good numbers in the American League this year.
Deservedly.
It's a small sample size.
Yeah.
And the last time he had a save percentage over 900 in the National Hockey League was with the Colorado Avalanche in 2017. So I don't think, well, we'll see. I mean, they could throw the net to Pickard. He could have a couple nice games, and maybe a couple nice games get the Oilers back on track. We don't know what gets the Oilers back on track. Maybe it is a couple nights. Maybe they don't even see Pickard. Maybe they just go, Skinner, let's go get your game on track.
Yeah.
Well, Jack's salvaging his career down in the American Hockey League, where I would assume Jack Campbell does really well numbers-wise in the American Hockey League. You know why, Eric?
Because it doesn't matter.
Because it's the American Hockey League.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, for him it might matter because he's trying to get back to the National
No,
Hockey
but in the
League,
grand, I mean, this is, and again, you just prefaced with him playing great in the preseason. That's kind of the same attitude I'm feeling.
The other reason he's going to look good in the American Hockey League is because he's not playing behind the Oilers. And they're a defensive nightmare.
Yeah.
So unless that improves, I mean, you could take 2013 Carey Price and throw him between the pipes.
You're
And that might be the only guy that you would have hope with.
Dustin
So.
Schwartz is a constant. The Oilers' defense is almost a constant right now in terms of goaltenders playing behind them. And
Well, the Oilers' defense has always, like, team
Not just
defense
this
has
year,
always
yeah.
been an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, look at last year. The majority of the games they have won, they had to score 4 goals in to win. So it's not like, they're worse than they were last year, but this just in, they weren't a stalwart defensively last year either. They were a bloody train wreck. And they're a train wreck again. So what have they accomplished here? I guess is the question. Like,
well, and you're not waiving Skinner. Like that's
you can't do
So
that.
that's not happening.
Even though
So
his
then-
numbers are worse than Jack Campbell's.
Right.
So I'm trying to brought this up yesterday on to you guys as well, and they basically the shocking moment of the team to kind of like wake them up. I guess that's what they're going for here because you're not improving your goaltending, I don't think. I mean, Pickard might be a little bit better, but
That's
if
not a
you're,
plan.
if you're
Yeah,
expecting Pickard to come out of the American Hockey League and all of a sudden salvage your team, there's so many issues here with that. You're not really gaining significant cap space to do anything else with your lineup anyway.
You're on the way there, but you still need to.
Like, technically, if they start Stuart Skinner on Thursday, nothing has changed. Like, there's nothing different except that it's Pickard sitting on the bench and not Jack Campbell. Now, if you were to start Pickard and it works out, then I guess there's some significant change there. But I'm not entirely sure what the Oilers have accomplished outside of the McDavid and Draisaitl go to the group like, wow, look at this. Jack Campbell's been sent down. It's time for now. They're not going to send down any of these other guys. So it's not like it's like a warning shot to Evander Kane that you better get going or you're going to get sent down because Kane might be a bad example because he has kind of been going a little bit.
But these are the handcuffs.
These guys aren't going to be sent down too.
It's
no
the
chance.
handcuffs Woodcroft wears when dressing a lineup too. You can't. There's no wiggle room
Yeah.
to send a message like that. But again, you did the process of elimination. It's a sending message move, right? Like that's it. It's not for the space and bringing in somebody on the fourth line. It's not for Pickard's going to come up here and save things. It's to shake things up. It's to send a message. But that's why going to Jamie McLennan, like what would be a move 2 or a step 2 in terms of sending a message right now? Because you've just mentioned that you can't really do any more of this transaction. It would have to be maybe a deal or a trade.
Yeah.
I don't know how you even get to that point either. But this is it.
It's almost like what's that line in Star Wars when she's going, Obi-Wan, you're our only hope, Princess Leia. Like it's like Calvin Pickard, you're our only
It's a
hope.
good
Because
Star
that's the
Trek
only
reference,
change that they're making.
Captain
so
Pickard.
yeah, we'll see. Belineski is in. It says, guys, dumb question, but does putting him on waivers free up $5 million in cap space? No, it does
Wouldn't that be
not.
something?
It does not free up $5 million in cap space. It frees up, I believe, about $387,000 in cap space. I can confirm that for you right now due to the great crew over at Puckpedia. Here it is. If Campbell clears waivers, I love these people that say if. Can you imagine?
Oh, no.
Now, I know I would be interested to see. Like this is the glimmer of like for the people who are in the crowd of somebody please waive Jack Campbell, which would free up a ton of money. The small glimmer of hope you may have is that somebody looks at them and goes, "Oh, that's an Oilers issue." Like this isn't a Jack Campbell issue. We like Jack Campbell.
It was a Leafs
The
issue,
Oilers are a train wreck defensively. Let's take and put it behind a team that is structurally sound. And maybe there's, but I doubt it. There's no like.
It was
how
a
many
Leafs
teams
issue.
could actually do that.
It was a
anyway?
Leafs
So
issue anyways, before it was an Oilers issue, right? With this particular individual.
Here's how the cap works out. If Campbell clears waivers and is sent down, they save $1.15 million on the cap hit. That's the buried limit this season. If he's replaced by Pickard, who then comes up, you have to take Pickard's salary off of the $1.15 million. So the annual savings on the decision right now is $387,000. So that's the cap wiggle room you've got out of this, is $387,000. So once again, I mean, when you're so up against it and you're trying to accrue some of this cap space leading up towards the deadline, I guess it does help. But if you thought that, they sent Jack Campbell down, now they can go trade for a $3 million stay-at-home defenseman, that is not the case. So, yeah, we'll see how that sorts itself out. But I'm just genuinely curious if everybody thinks this helps. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Does this help the Edmonton Oilers? You haven't added to your lineup outside of a goaltender that has had a nice start in the American Hockey League, put up decent numbers last year in the American Hockey League, but his last 4 or 5 years when he's got a sniff of the NHL, it hasn't worked out that great. So fingers crossed, I guess. Mikey is in. It's his first day with the TuneIn app, able to use as an alarm clock to wake me up at 6 a.m. with the ESTAM Nasty. Awesome.
That's great.
That's great,
Nasty
right?
start to the day, yeah.
Somebody tweeted me yesterday and go, boys, like being on TuneIn is such a game changer. So if you have not yet checked us out on TuneIn, make sure you do and favorite us. And then you guys see a little heart there. We come up as one of your favorites, and it will pop up on a more regular basis.
The love button. Is that the...
What's that? The love button.
The love button. Yeah.
All right, so you can keep these text messages rolling in. This one, they don't have their name on it. They're giving the masses a pound of flesh. You get to shame one of the goalies and the GM who put this team in position without actually doing something, all the way down to doing something for the coach. So that is kind of what this is, right? Like the fan base was really desperate for something. Some of them don't think he should ever play in the National Hockey League again. But this kind of gives those people their pound of flesh, right?
Yeah, it's a lateral type of... Like, whether or not it helps, that'll remain to be seen. Whether or not Pickard comes up and maybe, again, you're not expecting too much from it, but I just, even with that, and you ran the calculator, but you're still just a little short of just giving something
well, wait
else
till we
another
run the
option
bio
there.
calculator.
Oh, man.
That'll really take things to...
Christmas is coming. Hey, we can all be...
to another level, I think. Colin Ellerslie says, if it looks like garbage and smells like garbage, nobody can see or smell it in the AHL. Is it still garbage? I guess technically it would still be garbage. This year is great for people that are so scared of putting guys on waivers. No one is clamoring for our garbage. I guess that does help as well. 780-218-9999, and you can text us there. Interesting night in the National Hockey League.
Speaking of sending a message.
San Jose Sharks? Calgary Flames. Jonathan Huberdeau.
Ding, ding, ding.
How about this? Jonathan Huberdeau, with the new head coach, was benched last night, sat there on the bench, at the end of the bench.
Third period.
Opened the gate a little bit.
Yep, head on the...
He is their highest paid player. Somewhere Bo Levi is pissed right now that Jonathan Huberdeau got benched last night. That's a CFL quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell joke.
Yeah,
you get it. For some of you, I mean, you have to go look that up, I guess.
It's a sports show.
I really feel like my Bo Levi Mitchell joke should hit with people.
It's a sly.
Yeah, real clever.
And the best is you toss it to guys covering like Major League Baseball. Hey, Bo Levi Mitchell.
What do you think about
That's
this?
what I throw it to Noodles this morning, and if you can work it in there, just jimmy it in.
Bo's going to be with us this weekend. He's going to be on a panel for the West Final.
You'll be Goonies him.
Yeah,
the clip.
Yeah.
You know.
You're
going to work with me now. Yeah.
Me to Bo Levi Mitchell as he joins the panel for the Canadian Football League this weekend.
You're gonna live with me now. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. Because I love you.
Oh, I love you, John.
Oh, I love you so
Tell me that's not the best bromance in movie history.
Oh, and I look
I'll
forward.
wait. I'll wait.
I look forward to you and Bo's bromance heating up, and I wonder what Glenn Suter's thoughts will be on that. Now, it is the panel that he's joining, right? Because this could there's gonna be like a bit of a love triangle developing here, and you're gonna have to make some really hard choices.
No. He's just
Oh,
on the
I think
panel.
so.
They're bringing out for the West Final. We're bringing out Duthie, the big hitters. I'm always just like,
Good,
man,
yeah.
James Duthie's here
It's
for this
the playoffs,
broadcast. Like,
baby,
this is
yeah.
good. Whenever Duthie's like the one that's throwing to you in the booth, you're like, I'm gonna poop my pants because James Duthie's here.
Yeah, what is this? The Olympics?
Yeah. It seems very,
Yeah,
very
the-
exciting. So, Duthie Barker and Bo Levi will be on a panel out of the
panel,
West. So
yeah.
not in the booth.
So
There's
from
only
afar,
room.
hey?
There's only room for two best buddies in the booth.
Will you guys be
That'd be me
texting
and
each
Glenn
other
Suter.
while Glenn is in the room? Is
Oh,
that
my
will that be a
goodness.
thing?
Matt, don't even
No,
even
this
turn
is- this is
mic
the
on.
game.
We're not doing this today.
I'm not going with Bo. Like, he also is calling a game with Marshall Ferguson for the Grey Cup, right? And you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
A couple of
is
suitors
that
here,
gonna
pun
cause
intended.
you
I don't think
to
that's gonna-
turn on suits?
No, I'm not.
Are you-
I'm not going to turn on suits.
It seems like he comes up with this friendship bracelet, and you already have your eyes on a couple of other prizes.
I don't have my eyes on them.
It's the meme with the guy and the two girls, and he's holding the hands of the one girl, and then he's looking back at
Yes.
them, and that's Bo walking.
Don't even say
There's
that.
two, except we
like-
need to put two girls. It's going to be Bo and it's going to be
whatever it is.
Marshall
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
eventually
You know what
too.
I'm talking
It's going to
about,
be
yeah.
those two
Yeah, yeah.
Calgary.
I'm not
stamp-
even technically working with Bo Levi Mitchell this week,
Not
and
yet.
I will be working with Marshall.
You will be
A couple
But-
different things. I
here's-
told yesterday I'm going to be doing the CFL Saturday. I'm hosting, like on the desk.
Oh, good for you.
With-
Yeah, I'm very
Love it.
nervous.
With-
I'm very nervous. What?
With
Marshall Ferguson. Yeah.
Exactly. Seeing and also when it comes to Bo, a few Grey Cups ago, you guys had a long chat
did.
after the Grey Cup.
Well, it wasn't
You
a
guys
chat.
developed-
We got into it pretty good. Like
You
with
said
the
you
booze.
talked
with the booze. Yeah.
So as friends, so like, are you?
It was a one night stand, Matty.
Oh.
Like he didn't even text me the following week. Like,
But
What am I
now, because his playing career might be done. What's his future, and is it with the family of TSN where
been
you
watching
are
each
part of?
other
And
from afar.
I don't know.
how can his playing career be done when he's going to join Scott Milanovic with the Riders? Wouldn't that be something? Milanovic was in Hamilton. Apparently, they were pretty tight. If he gets the head coach job of the Riders, he could ride with Trevor Harris, but Trevor Harris is coming off this
And
injury.
for the Riders, are you going with a 39-year-old or whatever?
They went with a 37-year-old last year.
Yeah,
Right,
and
and
that
look what
37-year-old has more
Yeah, he got hurt.
has more history with Milanovic here. That's
a good point. He is. What about a Trevor Harris, Bo Levi Mitchell split?
Harris Milanovic, I have time for.
How are you
No,
gonna
I
call
mean
the games of your new best friend? If
we're
he's still
taking the
playing?
attention away from this. Yeah, and that's. I'm telling you, this is the flirtation, and you know the panel, and I know they'll be like cross country, but it's going to be quite close. You're working with him. He won't be in the room with you, but you'll be working with him. This is the first step in many steps leading to a.
You'll have your eyes on him all.
I won't even be able to see him.
He'll get a little red.
Panel somewhere else.
He'll get a little red.
Halftime, Glenn will want to have a nice chat here in halftime, and Dustin will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I want to hear what the panel has to say."
Yeah.
You guys,
He's speechless.
you're
We're on to something.
dicks. I was gonna say something else, but I was just
Yeah.
like, you're dicks. You're just being dicks right now. Like, that's okay though. We'll get through it.
Say hi to my friend James Duthie though while you're there.
Hey, listen. Why don't you focus on getting a lean right, and and then we'll talk to you.
I've got more than just a lean today.
Yeah, they're just leans.
You got a pick today,
No, Mr. Sprinkle is coming out.
Mr. Sprinkle.
Mr. Sprinkle.
What is this?
Whoa!
Oh, well, we have officially jumped the shark with the emergence of Mr. Sprinkle on the show today.
I think people might like this one. I do think people might like this one.
All right.
Is
All
there
right.
It's a
costumery
fun
or
one.
theme music involved here?
No.
No, nothing.
This is interesting. This is a clip I wanted to. You know what? Let's go do an update, and then we'll come back. I want to add a clip from Tombstone to the vault today that I think we can take for a really good run. And I saw one nasty chat that just came in that'll work well for it. You can also text us anytime, 780-218-9999. Let's get to a sports update with Lieutenant Eric.
NHL action last night saw the Sharks pick up win number 1 of the season, 2-1 over the Flyers. Penguins shutting out the Ducks, 2-zip. Avalanche double up Jersey, 6-3. The Flames, they'd come back to top Nashville, 4-2. Jonathan Huberdeau benched for the third period in that one. Coyotes get past the Kraken, 4-3 in a shootout. And Kyle Connor scored twice as the Jets knock off the Blues 5-2. Oilers waiving Jack Campbell yesterday for the purpose of assignment as the 3-game road trip will continue tomorrow night down in San Jose. Night off in the NBA. Action will resume this evening, and match day 4 in the UEFA Champions League group stage continues this morning and this afternoon. 8 matches in total, highlighted by Manchester United away to Copenhagen, Arsenal hosting Sevilla, while Bayern Munich take on Galatasaray.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
It is the Nielsen Show, continuing along. Dusty, Lieutenant Eric, Mr. Lean, Mr. Sprinkle, and YouTube Trev sitting in the back there learning how to opt the morning show as well. I kind of thought that Trev was going to be Mr. Sprinkle. Mr. Lean and Mr. Sprinkle.
Oh, that's
sitting in the
a
back
tag
there.
team there.
That'll work. Good. Sailors in and says, Mr. Sprinkle sounds like a guy who sells candy out of a white cargo van at the end of the street. I'll take some, please.
Yeah, it's that's a handle. You thought Lean was good, hey?
Yeah.
This is...
Yeah. That's good. Fergie says Dusty's going to take the first sprinkle of the morning. No, I was just going to blow my nose and grab a water.
And thank you to Joe Balaneski as well for creating the meme of the guy and the 2 girls, which Glenn Suter is the girl in the blue, and Bo Levi Mitchell is the girl in the red.
Oh,
and
my
you're going, ooh.
You
Ooh, look at
guys.
that. Fresh
why
meat.
why do you have to bring that stuff up? Because people meme that stuff right away. Like,
Glenn's an old, he's kind of, but this Bo Levi, hey?
Suits and I are going to be working
Brand
together for
new
the next
sports
5
car.
to 10
Vroom,
years.
vroom.
Like,
I don't know, new guy on the scene.
you guys are ridiculous. You guys are ridiculous. This is the clip that I wanted to add today. I saw a text in about the nasty chat in about the Huberto contract. Let me see. It's somewhere in here. Here we are. So this is I watch Tombstone all the time. It's on my iPad, so when I'm on a plane, if I run out of other shows, I just throw Tombstone on. And Dog Holiday, Val Kilmer and Tombstone probably should have won all the awards. I mean, he was absolutely brilliant. But this is a clip that this is me to you guys on this Bo Levi Mitchell stuff.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me. Somebody in the nasty chat today, as the Oilers waive Jack Campbell, said Jonathan Huberdeau is the worst contract in the league. And all I could think of here in Edmonton was,
that is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Don't you try to claim that you've got the worst contract in the league. The Oilers just waived a $5 million goaltender. They've got to have the worst contract in the league.
Glenn Suter, when you call him your number 1.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Send your hell of a thing for you to say to me text messages to 780-218-9999. That could be how you get in the mix for text of the day today. Yeah, I love Doc Holliday, man. He's the best. There's like 1,000 close. I posted last night that I was going to throw that in the vault today, and some guy replied and said, "You're a daisy if you do," which is one of his great lines from that movie as well. Your text message is 780-218-9999. This would be Ken Holland when we tell him that this doesn't change anything.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
If you're starting Skinner, I mean, the whole thing is, here's what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. They can start Pickard or they can start Skinner. Hell, they could probably play with an empty net against the San Jose Sharks. They're going to win that hockey game, and then people will be like, man, they scored 8 in San Jose. Ended up winning 8-2. Brilliant move. Waiving Jack Campbell. Like, we're not going to know the impact of this until at least the game against Seattle.
And wasn't Pickard a Thunderbird? Is that kind of the play here, right? You'll get his back to Seattle again.
Yeah. He was a Thunderbird, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Jack Campbell to Ken Holland when he told him he was waived yesterday.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
They all have to have the little mustache.
Just
too.
the
I
way,
envision the
he
mustache,
has
yeah.
it, like yeah. And then Calvin Pickard says, as Jonathan says in the text line, he goes, "I'm your Huckleberry." Like Pickard walks into the room with a small little Doc Holliday smoke, and there's like clouds. You can't really see who it is. Yeah, and Stuart Skinner. No. What a absolute the refs. Oh, this could be a text of the day right here. The refs when Jay Woodcroft just asks a question.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one. This is a good one too. From the McCain Fry Kid. That's got to be my buddy Matty Simonek. He always claims to be the McCain Fry Kid.
Yeah. It'd be a no source, no proof on that.
That would
as of
be
yet.
really
It's just
weird if that was him still claiming to be the McCain Fry Kid in the nasty chat. Anyway, Bouchard to Dave Manson when he asks him to play structured defense.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Oh, that's so good. Text that one in too so we can get in the mixer. Text of the day, 780-218-9999. Maddie to Yukon Jack saying that if they teamed up, they could win Amazing Race Canada.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Where'd that come from?
Well, we were talking about it on the Hangout yesterday because I said, who would you take on, on Amazing Race? And I don't think I said we'd win. I think we'd do well. You and I have talked. I think you and I would work very well together.
The Enterprise days, eh?
Oh, it's not days. It's still going. Excellence surrounded by excellence, perpetuating excellence. It's very simple. But it was one where, like, I think him and I really complement each other well. He has that little extra. He's an extrovert. I'm more of the introvert, so he could go help when we need to go do things, and I have that more organization to have things ready to go. I don't know. It wasn't we're gonna win. Him and I would do very well together.
Phrase picked you.
What?
Yes.
He didn't,
yes.
right?
Why did he pick you?
Because I'd be a good pilot.
He said he would. He said he would. He'd provide he'd annoy you, but he'd know that you'd be capable of leading, and then he could just kind of.
Phrase would want to travel around the world with me.
Statler and Waldorf his way through the thing. I think.
Tommy and DVD took each other.
Oh, cool bromance.
And I said, well, that's just because you guys will go out and drinking and miss the next check stop.
No,
or whatever,
it's great.
you're drunk.
DVD and Tommy Gazzola have been eliminated because they got stuck at Kelly's Pub in downtown Edmonton. John Montgomery is just shaking his head right now.
But then Will did bring up a good point with Uke and I. Because we're also great heels, and we would play that up, Uke is the ultimate everything is wrestling heel. And we would get close to winning, he'd turn on me.
I could see
just for the ability to say he turned on me.
Stone Cold Stunner on the final run-up.
Right? And then somebody else comes through and wins. He'd give up the win just to turn on me, just because that would be the better bit. But him and I would do great together.
Ryan McLeod, when Jay Woodcroft asks him to play physical.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Keep them coming in, 780-218-9999. There's some good ones that have rolled in so far this morning. Keep them coming in. Bob Stauffer, when Saravalli calls him out on his homer takes.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
That, of course, is future Nielsen Show guest and good friend of the program, Bob Stauffer. Anyway, you can have some fun with that today. Could be how you get in to the mix on the text of the day today.
Tammy, your wife, to Dustin, when she says you have to cut out the lattes.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Hey, tone it down in the drafts.
Oh, no, yeah, that one really hurt. When I get home from the draft and Tammy goes, I don't like the way you draft. You're too arrogant.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
That's a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Working this into your household vocabulary.
Yeah, I should. I'm going to mix that in today.
I'd love to just to see the
That
response.
is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Bit of a pause. You drop whatever you're doing.
That's good.
This clip is getting some slicey responses.
I knew this.
People
well,
are people are identifying names and just cutting deep.
Yeah. Suits to Dusty when he introduces him as his good friend in public.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
That's a good one. Here's a teacher that's in today. My students, when I ask them to turn their projects in on time.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
You can't do that now, right? In 2023, I think people just get to turn in their projects whenever the hell they want. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Like, I just don't. And also, if you do bad, you still don't get failed. So it doesn't matter anymore.
They basically can't fail you anymore.
Yeah.
And they can't deduct marks for you being late with it.
You think that we have all this success because we were raised like a bunch of softies? Hell no.
When you ask Jamie McLennan what step 2 is.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Jay Bobby, when you tell Principe he can't eat food off of the floor.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
It feels really good to beat the hell out of a clip this morning, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does.
It's not a game day. The Oilers do, but look at this. Hey, we're having a good time still.
Yeah, no, it's good. Leon, when Woodcroft compliments when he actually back checks.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
All right, so keep those coming in. We're just getting started. It's only 6:41. We got like an hour, 2 hours, and 20 minutes left in the show. EST glue guy Jay Milne will be in on the hangout today with Maddie and Tommy. Oh, that was another good one that I saw trickle into the inbox as well. Tom Gazzola when Dusty tells him to show up to work on time.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Anyway, Tommy will be in on the hangout today. A great hangout yesterday. Phrase and DVD. Phrase looks so tiny yesterday compared to all you guys. I was watching it a bit last night. And Phrase, I even compared to you, Maddie. Phrase just looks so little.
Well, I mean, he was never a tall man, but now
No.
that you've taken away the width, he's a pocket. He's pocket-sized, hey? He's just kind of like a... And then he got on his running clothes and got the hell out of here. He went to run somewhere with Spruce Grove or something.
Yeah, he brought his whole little running backpack.
He ran home to Stony Plain is what it was.
Phrase was running. All right. So let's get. We do buyout calculator on Jack Campbell.
Run it, yeah. Do you have to start it up? It
was good. I didn't even have to go to a website and I just typed in on Google, Jack Campbell. This is like the guy who found us on Google today. Somebody texted in and says, "Boys, I Googled you guys today, and it came up."
You know what? Low-key text of the day right there. Not funny and entertainment or anything, but it was a real good text to see.
It really hits home. He said he hadn't been able to listen to us for the last couple of months. And the first thing I thought when he said, I haven't listened to you guys for the last couple of months.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Here's the numbers on Jack Campbell. If you were to bury him in the minors the rest of the year and then buy him out. This is what and I don't know. I'll present the numbers. And you listening this morning, you can text in if you're on TuneIn or listening to our audio player at edmontonsportstalk.com or joining us here on YouTube. You let us know if you think this is reasonable to save the money for 3 years and then you get tagged with a cap it for another 3 years. It's basically going to cost you $9 million to buy out Jack Campbell. That's on 2/3 of his contract, which is what it's set up at. There's 3 years remaining after this year. So after this year, there'll be $13.5 million remaining. Look at me doing all this math and stuff. 13.5. I'm actually just reading numbers that were provided to me by Cap Family, but whatever. 13.5 million remaining in base salary. A 2/3 buyout would mean $9 million. So you would save $4.5 million. The annual cap hit buyout cost would be $1.5 million. So it lays out like this. His cap hit next season, if you were to buy him out, would be $1.1 million. So you save $3.9 million, which you could in turn use to pay the bonuses for Connor Brown if you keep him. The following year, his cap hit would be $2.3 million, so you're saving $2.7. The year after that, his cap hit would be $2.6, so you're saving $2.4. And then the next 3 years, you'd have a $1.5 million cap hit for 3 years, which would just be additional $1.5 million. You're not saving anything at that point because you should have been out of his contract by then. So would you buy out Jack Campbell if the cap hit for the next 6 years was 1.1, 2.3, 2.6, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5? That's what it comes down to.
I like how we're looking past the window now. We're not even now we're talking about I hate this. This is how many years are we going down the track here?
6 years. So instead of having him on the cap for 3 more years at the $5 million, you would have him for 6 more years, with 2 of those years being 2.3 and 2.6, and all the other ones being 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, and 1.1. JCD780 in the nasty chat says, I don't care how much it costs. Do it.
So that's where we're at. Doesn't matter the cost, just get it out of here. That was and then once you do that, then everything's fixed again, right?
Yeah, it's like 3 years of partial savings. If you can swallow the 1.5 mil for those last 3 years in an area where the cap should have gone up, you might be able to do it. I mean, as far as getting the guy the 9 mil on the buyout, I'm sure Daryl Cates doesn't want to do it, but at the same time, Daryl Cates would probably do it because he wants to win.
You couldn't package it. You couldn't put him in a big bag with a bunch of other things and just put him in the bottom and say, here. And then they open up the bag and Jack Campbell's at the bottom and, you got it. Like, there's no way here.
Man, I honestly think he's going to be starting games again by the end of the month in Edmonton with the Oilers. So
okay, well, then there you go.
It's probably a moot point anyway, but what do you think? 780. I almost gave him my cell number there. 780-218-9999. Guys, I'd rather eat $2 million in a Campbell trade than 6 years at 1.5.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Here's the issue with that. I was just looking up.
All right.
He
Now,
has,
is this Mr. Lean or Mr. Sprinkle talking?
This is Mattawa.
Oh, okay.
talking.
All right.
He's got a modified no trade clause where he gets to submit a list of 10 teams. No trade list.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Oh, I played the clip. Sorry.
I don't even know what the clip fully is.
What do you mean you don't know what the clip is?
Do you see headphones in my ears?
Why are you not listening to the show?
Do you see who's next to me?
You too, Trev.
And do you see what's on his head?
He's wearing headphones.
Exactly.
We don't have the ability for both of you to wear headphones? What are we even doing over here?
I could put it in my computer, but
There's
I'd be
headphones
behind.
right there.
But
You
I'd
would be behind.
So you've been out on this whole
And
clip thing.
we're playing this
clip
hilarious clip today,
Yeah.
Matty. You're
He's
missing
out on all the jokes. I can't believe it. He's missed them all.
But so the idea, like, what teams are Jack Campbell's going to have on that list of teams he doesn't want to be traded to? Those are probably the teams that have the cap space because they're lower in the standings, and he won't want to be traded there. So, like, you're not
non-starter.
Well, I think I'm not saying it's impossible because we don't know what the list that Jack Campbell would have, but that would be something that would potentially be a roadblock of, like, hey, just throwing the idea of eat up part of the salary, send it to Arizona with a pick so that they take half.
Not as easy said as done.
But he might have Arizona's I'm not going there type thing. And that's the only challenge you would have. But if that's not there, if he has that list and it works where you could find a team, I would 100% prefer taking 2.5 for the next 3 years, knowing that the 3 years after, I got
You don't have to worry about the 1.5.
I hate dead cap space. I hate it.
Wow,
For
sounds
years
like
and
you got beef with dead cap
it's-
space.
it's
Brought to you
just-
by Acme Meats.
Paying for those extra years, the Oilers keep doing that. Like, they've done it with Lucic is off the books now. They did it with Sekera.
But you just get off from one, right?
Yeah, they did it with Greiba or whatever it was. And it may only be
That's in the song. That's in the Tire Fire song.
And it may only be $1 million. But how nice would that, like, I know they don't have anything really this year, but how nice would, like, when you're that close to a cap team, how nice is that $1 million? You know, it's all that stuff. And so I would prefer not to have those 3 years. The flip side to that also will be the cap should start going up. Should go $4 million this year, and then it should keep steadily going up. So is 1.5 going to be a lot 4 years from now when the cap from now to then is going to have gone up, let's say, 15, 20 mil? Maybe not. But you do got to sign Leon. You do got to sign Connor.
This is interesting. And, of course, Bush has to get that huge deal.
Yeah, right. Although he needs to get some points and goals soon.
Well, BB wants the buyout math for Nurse. If we're doing the...
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
I thought you were going to start working the
Told you,
math
man.
there.
I love that. I love that clip.
Would you actually like it?
Maddie, please.
Are you like,
Well, somebody asked.
No,
It
it goes to 20, 35, 36.
Yeah, this is a Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah.
No, we can't. That's not. It's a non-starter.
ESPN needs it.
This is an interesting point, though, about Jack Campbell. He would welcome a trade over being buried in the minors, which is interesting. If the Oilers go to him and say, "Hey, listen, we know you've got this modified, limited, no trade clause, but we've got an NHL team, even though they suck, And the Oilers suck too. I mean, that's where it's at right now. But they could go to him and say, listen, we found a spot for you. Waive your no trade. You can play in the NHL again.
Or Jack Campbell could sit there and say, I'll pick where I want to go. Buy me out.
Yeah. That's not like in the NBA thing where, like, a guy gets bought out and then there's, like, a huge rush for his services with a bunch of other people.
But then you get that money from the Oilers. You can go sign another contract somewhere else, and you could kind of still choose where you potentially want to go. Like that, I don't think is a real thing to go to Jack Campbell and be like, hey, you could still play in the NHL. Otherwise, we're going to just have you in the minors because the Oilers aren't going to keep that $5 million. So Jack Campbell knows either I stick to my no move clause or no trade clause, and I dictate where I want to go, or they're going to have to buy you out, and you could still dictate where you want to go. And if a team has interest in buying him or trading for him at 2.5 or whatever, he could probably just go sign with any of those teams still too. So he still has a little more options. I'd rather trust my agent to go find me a deal than trust the team to find the right trade for me.
Jeff Jackson to Ken Holland when Holland says, let's talk about restructuring McDavid's contract mid-slump.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Keep those rolling in. What do you do with Jack Campbell? Do you just, like...
We're talking buyout on November 8th here for...
But no, this is how do we not see what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here is he goes down to the American Hockey League. He plays well because it's the American Hockey League.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, both their goaltenders down there have been great. So you know what I'm assuming Baco does? They probably defend well. So he's going to go down there. He's going to put up pretty good numbers. Everybody's going to say, oh, it's worked. He's fixed. Bring him back. He's ready to roll. And then he comes back up here, and Evan Bouchard allows 9 guys to get to the front of the net, and Cody Ceci makes a bad pinch, and Darnell Nurse has a bad game, and people are like, wow, it's not going to work with Jack Campbell. Got to blame Jack Campbell again. So, I mean, that's what happens here. If you don't think that's what happens, you're delusional. I would be shocked if this guy's buried in the minors for the rest of the season.
Well, if it's just a shakeup, then we don't need to be talking buyout or trade or anything like that, right? Because as you mentioned, this is just part of the plan. It's just a shakeup, a temporary shuffling of the the chairs on the deck of the.
I'm gonna make an outrageous claim right now. How's that sound?
A waiver claim?
Nope. I will say that Jack Campbell will be back with the Oilers by the time they play the Ducks and the Golden Knights on the 26th and 28th. That's a 2-week stint down in the American Hockey League. Get a few starts. Oh, Jack's back, and then he returns.
Then we start the season.
I think that's probably how it plays out. But maybe it's maybe he's buried down there for the rest of the year. 780-218-9999. Guys, Matt's volume is so low you can't hear him on TuneIn. It was that low? I was watching levels over here.
The levels are massive. Like, I'm worried I'm peaking almost at
No,
points.
I think...
No, right now I'm good.
You do sound a little bit louder now than you did before. Don't be afraid to crank that thing up a bit, buddy.
Well, I was like... I've been playing with it. It hasn't been that low based on the levels.
This guy heard you because he says, I agree with Matthew. He called you Matthew. That's interesting. How much would James Neal's dead cap hit help right now with a 21-man roster? So you do have to be careful with some of these decisions moving long term, and some of their cap management decisions have not worked out so far. James Neal right now has a $1.9 million cap hit on the Oilers this year and next year. So you do have to be careful in that decision. Evil Twin says 2 to 3 weeks, and he is back. Jay Bobby says maybe Campbell will pull a Devon Shore and return from Baco looking like an actual NHL player. See, and then this is like we say, oh, Jack Campbell doesn't even look like an NHL. He's got better numbers than Stuart Skinner. What's Stuart Skinner look like? If Jack Campbell has better save percentage than Stuart Skinner.
What does
that give you faith in Stuart Skinner if we're saying Jack Campbell's not even an NHL player and he's got better numbers than Stuart Skinner? I can't wait to get in with this. Jamie McLennan is going to join us in about 10 minutes. RCN says, I can hear Matty fine on TuneIn. So maybe it was that person had his volume down as well. Maybe put Campbell in a box full of blankets and leave him at a fire hall. Don't worry, I've seen this in movies. Every fire hall loves having a goalie. Or maybe I'm thinking a puppy. That one's in from The Wolf this morning.
Ow.
There it is. Ow.
At least you don't have to, like, the pay. It'll be off the books. Boom, you're gone. Take the puppy, take the goalie, and everything else that comes with it.
People are saying Matty actually sounds better than the rest of us on TuneIn.
Matt's mic level is fine.
What's up with that one guy then? What's his deal?
He has a Matawanic filter that bleeps out all my
Maybe.
audio, basically, because he doesn't want to hear me, which would probably make a lot of money if you put that out there.
Us to that guy claiming he can't hear a Wannick.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Because, everybody else can hear Wannick in this situation. All right, so lots of talk on Jack Campbell, obviously, here in this hour. You can send your thoughts in. We're going to continue that conversation with Jamie McLennan when he pops by. What did he say? This is only step one. If they don't figure this out, what is? I'm very excited. Like, Noodles was a backup goaltender in the National Hockey League almost his entire career. So how much impact would have had on the room if they sent Noodles down? You know what I mean? Now, I know Jack's being paid to be more than a backup, so maybe it's not a great comparison. But I think if anybody has a good read on this, Jamie McLennan will be that guy. He's going to be joining us coming up here just after 7 o'clock this morning. And we'll get into the whole Jonathan Huberdeau thing. The Oilers would never sit McDavid or Draisaitl, right? Even in a bad game. And I'm not putting Huberdeau on that level, but he is their highest paid player. He's a guy who's expected to drive their offense, okay? So calm down before people are like, Dusty's putting Huberdeau in the same class as McDavid and Draisaitl.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
That's not what I'm doing here. But, like, that's one where you go, and they came back and won. So, like, mission accomplished for Huska down in Calgary. You sat down a guy who wasn't giving you the effort that you wanted to give, and then your team rallied, came back, and got it done. I don't know if Jay Woodcroft would ever be willing to sit
All of the defensemen.
Certainly not McDavid or Draisaitl.
No.
He would never do it with Darnell Nurse. And there have been cases sometimes where Darnell Nurse, you go, man, Nurse is just not, he doesn't have it tonight. He apparently will not do it with Bouchard, even though the opportunity's been there 1,000 times over. And who else would you be benching? Like Nuge. If you were to bench Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, that would create a discussion in town. He's one of your core leaders.
Would it, though?
No.
Would anybody notice? Like, I think they would.
I think they would.
I get, but
like Nuge's effort level has been really consistent throughout the season, I think.
if you're not doing it with a guy like Bouchard at this stage, you're really not doing it with anyone then, right?
Yeah.
That's the name that surfaced up the most during this young season where you could say, well, if you're going to make some sort of an example on the bench, that would be the guy. That would be it. And if you're not doing it now, well... And again, when we add terms such as like Jesus to guys' names, I mean, you can't bench somebody like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Connor McDavid deserves to be benched. We're also talking about a potential injury. But to the greater point.
Like, it's fascinating because Jay Woodcroft, when pressed by Speck after the game, said, well, we needed Bouchard out there for his offense. We're trying to get back in a hockey game. Well, the Calgary Flames were losing, and they kept a guy who would arguably be viewed as maybe their most dangerous offensive player. Should be their most dangerous offensive player. They kept him off the ice. You don't think they wanted a goal? You don't think they wanted to kind of push back? You don't think usually a guy like Huberdeau would help? But no, they decide to send a message, and maybe that's something that gets the Calgary Flames going again. I know it worked out extremely well for a Lockshot partner parlay. I was a huge fan of the move. But sometimes you just gotta suck it up and look at it and go, okay, sorry, man. You have had, I don't know, how many goals has Bouchard been directly responsible for so far this season? 10? Maybe 8 to 10? At some point, sit him down and say, you know what, we're going to allow other players to have a chance to provide offense because you're not learning the lesson of the proper awareness or effort defensively.
But
he
how can you
wouldn't do
bench
that. Woodcroft he basically just said he wouldn't do that.
But how can you when we are short man to begin with? That text flies in as well. So there.
Well, then we're back to the. You suck it up then,
yeah.
And you go to your general manager, who's awful with cap management, and basically say to him, "Look, we had to sit this guy to send a message to the group. I'm sorry we had to run with 5 defensemen the rest of the night." And basically, at that point, you almost take Desharnais out of the rotation and you just roll the 2 pairs for half a game, and it's not. Then Bouchard's looking at these other guys on the blue line who are getting bloody exhausted because he's not responsible enough to play defense properly. Maybe that's like a guilt message being sent to him as well. So, I mean, at some point there needs to be an example set, and them waiving Jack Campbell is not the coach setting an example. I mean, that's management basically being, we're going to try to do this. So that's to me, sending Jack Campbell down to the minors does not hold your group accountable.
After a night which he didn't play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like
the knee-jerk reaction is, and somebody has then it's like talking about benching guys. You play poor, well, then you get there's an action and then a reaction to it. But the Campbell thing was the only thing that they could done, as in terms of sitting somebody or sending somebody down or whatever it is. As somebody stated correctly at the Paris Jewelers inbox, pound of flesh.
Pound of flesh.
Pound of flesh.
Danny's in and says, no conches before 7 a.m.? Are we all dead inside now, too?
Well, who gets it now?
Holy smokes, Danny.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
You know who I'm going to conch? The over 300 people who are watching live right now. That's what I'm going to conch.
I think you might want to dish out another one, too.
What is this?
If this information is for public.
Ah, very nice, very nice. We hit 1,000 favorites on TuneIn. Perfect, excellent. Let's keep them going. Right? It's like being on the radio in your car, except static free. And we basically been on static radio since, I don't know, when did we all start? 2009? Like since 2009, we were operating on a station that had some static on it. Now we've been doing this since 2023. And it's awesome.
You can listen to us downtown.
Is great. You just go boop, and you just listen on TuneIn.
Remember, you could catch both us and Ched downtown.
That was nice
at the same time.
If Stoff starts lurking over onto our TuneIn feed, I'm going to be really pissed.
Something's afoot.
Really pissed. All right, let's get to a thank you to everybody who's liking it on TuneIn. I think it does make the experience to listen online a little bit easier than just going to EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Obviously, that's still set up for you as well. Tell your friends, just download a free TuneIn app, and you can listen very clearly. Moves along well. Conch for everybody. 1,000 people on TuneIn. All right, what have the Oilers accomplished with Jack Campbell being waived? We'll get into that with Jamie McLennan coming up for Pro-Am Sports right now. Let's get into a sports rewind with Lieutenant Eric.
NHL action last night saw the Flames bench Jonathan Huberdeau for the third. That propelled a come-from-behind 4-2 win over the Nashville Predators. Elsewhere, Avalanche double up the Devils 6-3. Penguins shutting out Anaheim 2-0. Sharks get win number 1 of the season, 2-1 over the Flyers, and Kyle Connor scored twice. Jets knock off the Blues 5-2. Oilers waiving Jack Campbell yesterday for the purpose of assignment. Their 3-game road trip continues tomorrow night with a stop in San Jose. Toronto Raptors continue a road trip tonight with a stop in Dallas as NBA action resumes this evening with 14 games on the schedule. Match day 4 in the UEFA Champions League group stage continues this morning and this afternoon. 8 matches in total, highlighted by Manchester United away to Copenhagen, Arsenal hosting Sevilla, and Bayern Munich take on Galatasaray. The Sports Rewind brought to you by Universal Rewind. If your motor is performing like the Oilers, it might be time for a rewind. If only we could rewind the Oilers season.
Oh, spicy.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
$704 on the AM Nasty. Thank you very much for being here. You can text us anytime. Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. Macramalla intros. Got to get those in too. This guy's going to be coming up a little bit later on. EST legal analyst and guy that hasn't slept in weeks because his kids told him the Charmin bears aren't real, and now he feels like he's been wiping his butt for nothing. Eric Macramalla. Macramalla intros to the inbox. Resend them in. I might have missed some in the 6 o'clock hour as well. Guys, Bouchard is playing like a union employee who, short of killing somebody, cannot be fired. Well, they are all union guys. So maybe that's exactly. I got to be careful there. My dad's a big union guy. HR daddy. Last thing we need is him.
Watch it.
Him riding up our butts. 780-218-9999. What's that? I always like when you say, what's that name? Galatasaray or whatever it is?
Galatasaray,
Yeah, I just love the way that rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Tell me more about Galatasaray, Eric.
Turkish soccer club.
Turkey,
Yeah,
okay, all right.
Turkey. Yeah, so they'll be
Now,
playing.
is that a city? Or is it like a team name?
I think it's just a club.
It's just a club.
I didn't know I'd be quizzed on
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to put you in the spot here.
In the day here.
Yeah.
They did beat Manchester United, though, famously a couple weeks back, I do believe. Maddie, if you got the date on that one,
Galatasaray.
3-2, back in early October. So,
all right. Well,
they're leading the Super League right now. A point up on Fenerbahce.
Super League is the Turkish league?
Turkish domestic, yeah.
I hate when these domestic leagues have different names and they don't just identify their country in it. Like, why can't it just be the Turkish Premier League or something like that? And how am I supposed to know what
Language
Super League
barriers.
is? It's
10
silly.
wins, 1 draw, and no losses. They are on fire.
All right, well, let's get to a couple of text messages. Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Guys, who said sending Campbell down is trying to send a message to anyone? Maybe the move is simply to help a goalie find his game. Ask Jamie. They want us to ask Jamie
well,
that.
that's a theory there, hey?
That's certainly something we can do. Like I said, we're sitting here this morning going, what exactly have they accomplished by sending Campbell down? Is it mostly just for him? Is it trying to be like this wake-up call to the club to start defending better?
You don't think it's freeing up money for bringing like?
It doesn't though.
No, I know, but if you take in some cans, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're almost there. But that's not not part of this deal.
You
at
think
all,
the saving $387,000 on the cap? If you were to somehow save another $387,000 and then another $387,000, you could get a player that has $1 million cap at somewhere. I mean, I don't know. Jamie McLennan is brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned fan gear and fan cave specialist located on St. Albert Trail, 1 block north of the Yellowhead, or online at proamsports.ca. Like you, they are fans too. Noodles, how you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. How you guys doing today?
Oh, pretty quiet day here in Edmonton, Jamie. Nothing really going on of significance, so we're just kind of cruising along, right? Pretty ordinary show, I would think. Okay, so, yeah, it comes out yesterday. Jack Campbell has been waived. What do you think they're trying to accomplish here, Noodles? Is this getting him back on track? Is it try to shock the team and look like they have some accountability now? Is it they think Pickard can help them win more games? What do you think they're trying to accomplish here?
Well, you just mentioned 3 things, and I would argue that all 3 do apply now on different levels of importance. Jack Campbell hasn't been the goaltender that they wanted to sign, the goaltender they expected to sign. So you got to get his game in order because it's tough to run him back into the net. Secondly, I do think this is the first shot across the bow of accountability. We saw it in Calgary last night. Ryan Huska decided, I'm going to tape or staple a $10.5 million player to the bench in the third period when we're chasing the game. They were chasing the game. And they're like, to hell with this. If we're going to lose, we're going to have some accountability in that room. And it ended up sparking the guys. To me, I look at this, Jack Campbell's a fantastic human, very, very popular in that room. And yesterday on a day off, whether it's in Vancouver and San Jose, I think it was still in Vancouver, they stayed there. That's a tough day to go into that dressing room and go, we just put this guy on waivers. We're going to disrupt the team. And this is move 1 of potentially many, if it doesn't turn around. So I do think it is first and foremost about the players' play, but it's also a shot across the bow to say, you know what, we're going to start there and we're going to look at somewhere else too. And whether that's benching Evan Bouchard, and Evan Bouchard's not the only guy. Darnell Nurse Cody Ceci, guys like that, they look like they've forgotten how to play on certain shifts, which is ridiculous. And then up front, accountability. Now, I don't know if you stapled 29 or 97 to the bench, but it's to me, there has to be a trickle-down effect of playing the right way and being impactful. And they were dominant. What was it, the first 12 minutes in Vancouver?
Yeah.
That was an unbelievable effort. But right now, that team is so fragile that the minute the puck goes in, they start to change the way they want to play. And it was a bad luck play. Desharnais on the back door puts it in his own net. I didn't love Skinner's positioning on that. I don't know why you have to be outside the blue paint on an angle shot like that. That's more of a technical thing. But you look at that, you could have found a way to just battle right back. Instead, you give up a bad goal through the middle. I know it's a shot down the middle of the ice, but you got to find a way to stop the bleeding. Maybe this is Ken Holland's first move to go, guys, I'm going to try and jar the dressing room. I'm going to try and jar guys back into, hey, let's get refocused here. That's kind of what I took out of it, but we'll see how they respond against the San Jose Sharks, who got their first win last night.
They're hot.
Well,
Sharks are streaking. So.
Oilers are closer to the Sharks than anybody else right now. And Noodles, a few people are actually asking if you would like to return in some player-coach capacity to the league and help this group out right now, but we'll get to that later. You talk in terms of next steps, and I guess from Jay Woodcroft, we've been discussing earlier, he's kind of tied in terms of, short roster already, and if you are benching guys or trying to send a message that way, but let's walk down the path a bit. If you could see this continuing, what would be a potential next step for a guy like Ken Holland, or if you were in his shoes? I mean, where do you kind of go from here? And I know you use the term fragility too, and how much can you shake up a fragile group, I guess would be a question.
Well, I think sometimes what you need is when everybody's paralyzed and just watching things instead, like it's almost like an out-of-body experience. I know on nights where, and believe me, I can speak to this in first person. On nights where I was out to lunch, I would be watching myself play, going, "What the hell is that guy doing?" And you watch the team, you could see them thinking out there. Listen, guys have a lot of pride. They're trying, but they're not getting it done. They look slow. They look unemotional sometimes, which that's not the Edmonton Oilers team that Ken Holland built. They were a fast team with lots of pace, play with some emotion, play with a little bit of bite when you got Evander Kane in the lineup and guys like Ekholm. I look at Ekholm's comments the other day. I thought that was the most telling thing. He's a very poised guy. He's taken some frustration penalties, and he said, "This is the worst start to my career."
Yeah.
So, it's when you've got veteran guys like that saying it, not just, lip service from the McLeods and guys like that, McDavid having to talk every day, just kind of basically saying the same thing. You have a leader and a monster of a player like Ekholm going, "I need to be better, but everybody else needs to be better." I think there is something there. I always try and preach patience. And, as a fan base in the media, you can't do it because you're watching it every day. But, what they need is something to jolt the group, or maybe something that galvanizes them to go, okay, we know how to play hockey here. Because honestly, there's two guys that have played up to their capabilities right now in the last 5 to 7 games. That's Evander Kane and Warren Foegele. Everybody else has not played well enough. They need to play to their capabilities.
Do you throw Pickard in the net here against San Jose, or do you use San Jose? You would. Hey, I was going to say you could use San Jose to get Skinner a win, which he might kind of want at this point. But you think if you're going to send down Jack Campbell, whoever you're calling up should be in between the pipes the very next game?
Yes, because you're sending a message to the team going, okay, everyone wants to say, like, we're going to let you guys off the hook. Say it's goaltending. Okay, we're going to get you a new goaltender. Go play. Let's see what happens. And I know San Jose might not be the team but keep in mind, they still got Hurdle. They still got some players there that can then do some damage. I know they only put up 2 last night, and Blackwood was fantastic, I think making 38 saves. But ultimately, you can't sleep on San Jose. Right now, that tomorrow's game is the most important game of your season to try and start to turn things around. And if you don't believe right now with what's going on, Skinner, I didn't love his game in Vancouver the other night. I thought he was in motion. I thought he looked like a lot of the other team, just kind of, trying to get through it. So I do. I think Pickard gets the start. And if he wins, you give him an opportunity to just kind of let everybody else have a bit of a reset. It's not just a shot at Stuart Skinner. It's a shot at the rest of the group going, you know what? This is what you forced me to do. And let's see if you can respond to it.
Jamie McLennan with us here on the Nielsen Show. If you're listening on TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, he's brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. A lot of people are asking to get your take on the whole goaltending coach debate because they've rotated through a bunch of coaches, but Dustin Schwartz has been the goaltender coach here for a long time. And I was on Two Guys and a Goalie yesterday with Gager and Cass, and we're just talking about, how much of an impact does a goalie coach get, whether you're crediting him for doing great work with the goaltenders or you're ripping him for not doing enough good work with the goaltenders. I'm sure you had a few goaltending coaches along the way, Noodles. How much of an impact do they make?
They do have a large impact on a lot of different things. Now, The way I would look at it is, first and foremost, you start with the relationship. So where is Dustin Schwartz with his relationship with Stuart Skinner, with Jack Campbell, with the coaching staff, with management? And you're right, he has been there. I want to say, is it 9 years coming up on a decade?
Yeah, I think it was like 2014, 15-ish. Yeah.
So, you know what? Sometimes I had this debate on our show yesterday, and we were talking about it with the Blue Jays hitting coach. The Blue Jays hitting coach, like their hitting stunk this year, and they brought the whole band back instead of, you know what, you're going to have one casualty. I look at what the Toronto Maple Leafs did. They fired their goaltender coach two years ago, and I thought it was a garbage move because he went to Seattle and he helped their goaltenders be unbelievable. And it's Steve Briere. He's a great goaltender coach. There's great goalie coaches out there. I don't know Dustin Schwartz personally. If you look at his body of work, you could say, has his goaltenders performed? Have they gotten better? You know, you look at it not just in a 2-week span. Do you believe in the coach, and do you believe he's still bringing it to the table? Sometimes you do need a new voice just based on the group is stale. And maybe you bring in somebody who's more progressive or thinks a different way, has a different tactical thought process. But right now, I think everything's on the table. There is nothing off the table right now because it's that. And I feel bad saying this. Yeah. 11 games in, it's that dire where you're like you're at rock bottom and looking up, going, what is it? Vegas 18 points ahead of you. Like
yeah, that's gone now. Like now it's like you got to track down Vancouver and Los Angeles, right? Like,
well, exactly. So at the end of the day, I think everything's on the table. That's why I go back to my first comment, is that this is maybe move one of potentially several if Ken Holland doesn't get the response that he wants.
You know, you mentioned earlier, and let's go down to Calgary for a second, because with Huberdeau being benched in the third period, and not only was he benched and they sent that message, they came back in that game and won, which works out extremely well for the head coach. But you said, they were chasing that game and they still decided to sit him down. Jay Woodcroft was asked about why Bouchard didn't get sat down after a horrible pinch and not getting back. And he said, well, we're chasing a game. We need our offensive guy to get it done. And that's just two completely different mindsets, isn't it?
It is, and I've had several conversations with lots of head coaches, and a lot of them have the Jay Woodcroft mentality going, you know what, that guy's not having a night, but all he needs is one shot to be a difference maker. And I agree with that wholeheartedly when you look at it, but I think sometimes you need to send a message, and it's almost like Ryan Huska said last night, to hell with this, we're down 2-1, and we've got to send a message, not only for today, but moving forward. So I would argue maybe it is time to take a look at players in game and go, you need to miss a shift here and watch, or take a look at in the video room in between periods and say, we need more from you. I come back to one word, is accountability. And last night, Ryan Huska held his team accountable by making one move. And it's a ballsy move because it can have a reverse effect. They ended up coming back and responding. Now, keep in mind, Huberdeau hasn't played well enough. So I look at Bouchard. He hasn't played well enough, especially in his own zone. He's way too casual. Like, I want somebody who digs in on a 50-50 play and comes out with that puck. Yes, offensively, the kid can shoot the puck, but there's a lot of brain-dead plays that he makes out there that costs chances against, or maybe costs momentum. And again, I'm not just leaning on Bouchard. There's a lot of culpable players out there, but that one you could have circled and said, let's miss a shift or two here and try and, have a reset. Desharnais, same thing. For me, I watch him and he battles. And it's not a cheating for effort, but there's nights where you're like, okay, he doesn't need to be out there every second shift. And that goes for Nurse, that goes for everyone else. Cody Ceci, I don't know what's happened. For me, I think he's a hell of a player when he's on his game and having some chemistry, but there's some real poor decision making. So it has to start with somebody. Yes, miss a shift, move on, and hold some people accountable.
Just to wrap on that Huberdeau thing for one more second. I mean, he picked up last year 55 points in 79 games, not what they were hoping to get. New coach this year, he's minus 12 in 12 games. His new big-time deal just is kicking in this season. I mean, does this get salvaged down there? Like, do you think this message gets sent home to him, or is this just a disaster continuing on?
Well, okay. I mean, 8 years, there's going to be it's going to be ugly at some point. It's ugly right now.
Yeah.
But he's a better player than this, guys. He's a better player than this. I look at that Oilers roster and I say, that's a better team than this, but they're not playing like it. They're playing scared. They're playing scared to lose. They're not playing with some emotion. They're playing with too much entitlement, which they don't deserve right now. And I look at Huberdeau. I think he can get it back on the rails, but define what back on the rails is 115 points sailed and it's just, that's it. And the chemistry, can he get to 80 points, which is a huge jump from 55. But to me, he has to be an impactful player. And when you get paid $10.5 million, you can't be the guy that they're worried about getting the game going. He's got to be a guy to drag somebody else's game up. He's got to make Mangiapane better. He's got to make Kadri better. He's got to make Lindholm better. Backlund, all the guys in that lineup, Dubé, that rely on top-tier players to drag them up. So, he's got his work cut out for him, but I do believe he's a better player than what we're seeing right now.
As always, buddy, we appreciate the visit. We'll chat next week.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
That's Jamie McLennan, TSN NHL analyst, one of the hosts on Overdrive as well. Joins us every Wednesday right here on the Nielsen Show. Interesting discussion there about accountability, and we'll get into that a little bit more ourselves here. But one of the things Noodle said in there, so the Flames bench Huberdeau last night to come back and win the game. Jay Woodcroft said after the last game, the reason he didn't bench Bouchard is because they were chasing the game and they needed his offense. You just heard Noodle say, I don't know if he goes as far as sitting down 97 and 29. I would throw this out there. Like, if there are times when Leon Draisaitl's effort on a back check defensively could justify being like, hey, man, just take a seat for a couple of shifts and start working harder defensively. Like,
but you're running him out of town.
But well, I'd be very fascinated to see what the fan base reaction would be like at this point if Jay Woodcroft, and I don't think they'd ever sit them down for an entire period, especially a third period. Like, I just don't see that happening. But I'll ask all of you right now, whether you're listening on TuneIn or EdmontonSportsTalk.com or you're watching on YouTube this morning. First of all, we appreciate the support. Second of all, if the Oilers are playing the Sharks and it's a 2-2 hockey game and Draisaitl's on a back check and he's not moving his feet and they give up or McDavid, I mean, not to single out Draisaitl, I mean, either one of these guys, and they're not moving their feet and the guy that they were supposed to have gets a rebound and buries it or is open and buries it, where would you come out on Jay Woodcroft? Let's say it happened midway through the second period. Where would you come out on Jay Woodcroft sitting McDavid or Draisaitl for the final 10 minutes of a period when they were directly responsible for a goal against? How do you think the fan base would react to that? Because I think it's easy right now for everybody to be like, oh, of course, there has to be accountability. But then I see a world where it happens and people are just all over Woodcroft because you can't do that to McDavid and Draisaitl. So I don't know. I'm very interested by this.
The whole overall picture isn't their fault. So you have to fire Holland. You have to get a completely new blue line. You have to do all these other things prior to even thinking about benching one of them for a shift or even
so many other
dare
things
we say a period.
See, Danny says not when Draisaitl has 1 year left on his deal. See, and to me. So you're just going to let Leon Draisaitl do whatever he wants?
Yes.
Because he got 1 year left on his deal and you want to lock him up long term. Like,
and you should also have the mental fortitude to win a cup.
Yeah, like
with that same
that seems
process.
That seems kind of ridiculous to just be like, skate how you want. We want to impress you, so you stick around with us long term. I mean, I would prefer that he wants to stay and finish a job than him and Connor McDavid have started here. But I don't think you could be making decisions on holding your team accountable now based on Leon Draisaitl's contract status. Like, that seems a little crazy. Calvin C says Woody doesn't want to get fired, so this will not happen. See, and that's an issue there.
That's another point. Put it on the board, yeah.
Jay Woodcroft is afraid to hold his star players accountable because they have the sway to get him fired, or the management team would be like, what are you doing? That's ridiculous. So I mean, it hasn't happened. I would think it probably never happens, but I would be fascinated by the discussion if it did happen.
And multiple texts flying in about Cooper and benching the Kucherovs, the Points, the Stamkos last year. 2-time Stanley Cup winner.
Yeah, Cooper sent
But
some messages along the way.
in the Tampa market, does anybody realize that
but
happens?
it also shouldn't matter. No, you're right. So you're saying it's easier for Cooper to do that.
Because all of these
But people
examples-
care about the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I'm not saying people
It's
don't, but I'm
not as
just in this
crazy
market.
as-
Exactly. So the texters are saying, well, Woodcroft doesn't want to keep the job and all this, and Draisaitl, like, and I think the fan base are creating those scenarios out of their own minds because, and it's right to look at. I understand that, but you can't be elevating these guys to a point where you're scared to do any sort of discipline to them. And again, it's not their fault the blue line's been constructed as. It's not their fault that the Oilers are in a cap crunch. But situationally, on any given night, you shouldn't be afraid to, if you're a coach your team. And sometimes you have to make those tough decisions. And fans as well would have to, swallow some of those tough decisions, given the situation on any given night. But the fact that you're scared to do it because a guy might leave or you might upset somebody or the coach is feared for his job,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, that's not how
you're
things
in a
should operate,
bad
man.
spot here.
And
yeah.
I'm not sure they do.
No,
yeah.
but if fans are thinking
Yeah.
that way, and again, to my point, I don't think anybody in Tampa would notice or care. They only care about winning, and they've got the cups to prove it.
Echoes Jegan says, if he can't handle the benching, then he can be traded. The lack of accountability and leadership from him and Connor is why this team is a mess.
Well, I don't know if that's why they're a mess.
Jared's in says JT Miller got benched a few games ago in Vancouver.
Yeah,
he did,
but not for roster construction though. It's just for in-game situations, and you shouldn't be afraid to do that.
But Miller's one of their guys out there, right?
Sure.
Like, and he said, now it was only for like 4 minutes.
Yeah,
but it holds them a little bit accountable. Like, imagine if Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid had to miss a shift because they did something defensively that Jay Woodcroft did not approve of. Yeah. It won't happen.
What if you talked about this team growing up? But that's not a sign of that.
No, but that is like a part of the maturity of the team growing up. I had some people be like, Dusty, what do you even mean by the team growing up? Well, what I mean is that they would accept something like that.
Yes.
Or the coach would be willing to do something like that.
Yes.
Or they start to operate as more of a mature hockey club. Guys, if you want to keep Draisaitl around, start winning. And if that means benching him a couple of shifts, you do it. You can't be scared to make moves based on the fan base reaction. No, yeah.
But again, benching a guy for a shift or a period,
and we're not just
you're not blaming them for the roster construction. All this stuff is separate. It's all separate.
I'm not trying to single out Draisaitl. The conversation can be had about McDavid. The conversation can be had about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. The conversation can be had about Darnell Nurse. Like, Darnell Nurse, I thought he was great last game. It didn't lead to a victory for the team, but I thought he was aggressive. He was playing the body. He was making good decisions. I like Darnell Nurse's game last game. But there are also games where you watch Darnell Nurse and you're like, what the hell are you doing? Like, and I know your blue line's not very strong in the first place, but, I mean, sit him down for 3 shifts. That would send a message to Bouchard that you're sitting there going, well, if they're going to bench Nurse, they're probably going to bench me at some point. So, like I said it right off the top of the show today, they're going to pump the San Jose Sharks. Friday morning show, we're going to be playing gold songs. Everything's going to be great again. And then we'll see where it goes from there, I would think. If they don't hammer the Sharks, I don't even care. If they beat the Sharks 3-2, I get it. A win's a win. But that doesn't feel like a win.
Yeah, but even a hammering might get them to a point where they're not at yet as well, right? Like that kind of, I don't really know. And I don't know if you wanted the Sharks to win last night or not.
Yeah, I don't.
Because now, I mean, again, they're 2 points back.
Oh, man.
Well,
if they lose to San Jose, somebody should be fired on Friday morning. I'm not sure.
We'll be doing 2 or 3 or 4 of McClellan's next steps, right?
Speaking of holding somebody accountable, we're not afraid to do that here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Yesterday, the run here with EST and even our friends at Winnipeg Sports Talk, I hit the Cool Bit hotline of the day. I hit my Lock Shop play of the day. Hustler hit his Winnipeg Sports Talk parlay. We hit the Lock Shop partner parlay. We were this close to a perfect day at both EST, Lock Shop, and WST. The only thing we missed on was some soccer team that I still don't know how to pronounce the name of, and it was Mr. Lean. So in holding Mr. Lean accountable, no picks today.
He's benching himself.
That's fine.
No, just kidding.
See, look at this. Look at the accountability here. I love
Red
it.
Star. Say Red Star.
Red Star.
There you go. You're good.
That was it?
That's all you have to say. Yeah.
Okay, but what's the other 2 words?
Belgrade.
I thought we were on a different team.
Servina
No,
Zvezda.
that was the actual Serbian name of it.
That's
you could just call them Red Star Belgrade.
Okay.
And you're good to go. Former Canadian. Well, he's still with the team. Canadian goalie Milan Borjan used to play for them. not with them anymore because they
Mr.
changed
Sweatpants.
coaches this past season and or off season, and the coach didn't want him. So they it was a 2-1 game. Needed that one more goal. Didn't happen.
Tough one.
But that's why it's a lean.
That's
like
why it's a
all the picks were right.
Speaking of accountability, being lean guy is just the worst.
All the picks were right.
All our official picks, I guess.
And
are
the
right.
lean was not there,
yeah,
but it also
cost us
hurt
parlay.
the EST parlay. But
all right, so what are you doing? You got Mr. Lean and Mr. Sprinkle today, or is
got Mr.
Mr. Lean
Sprinkle.
becoming Mr. Sprinkle?
No, because I can't do that. I need to.
So you have a lean and a sprinkle.
Well, for the lean, I got to get back on.
You do have to get.
I can't just go with the sprinkle. It's as long as I've been doing this, it's my first little cold streak coming up here. And I'm looking to the NBA for the lean.
The association.
There's a couple really good games tonight. You got Celtics 76ers.
That's a big game.
Like, that
Big
is going to be a fun one. 76ers are the dog at home. And I was tempted to go that way, like on the line even. But I'm looking for the Mountain Time Zone down south from here. Denver Nuggets, Golden State Warriors.
Dank Nugs.
That's going to be a fun matchup.
I didn't know that was happening tonight.
Yes. They have cool bet right now, the line of over under 227 points, over minus 108. I'm going to take that down the half point to minus 112. That's so that you win at 227.
Okay.
I'm taking the over 226.5.
Okay. I love you
So I'm bringing it down
adjusting
slightly.
an NBA game by half a point. I love this.
So if you are on cool bet, it shows up as 227. You could click the little down arrow next to it, and you could change your over-under for people out there.
If this game finishes with a total of 227 points, you've completely redeemed yourself. That would be amazing.
Mr. Redeem.
That'd be incredible.
It's you need 117 points from both teams.
Yeah.
The Nuggets this year are averaging. They're both averaging over that. Although they have some decent defense, both of those two teams. It's not like they're bad defensive team. Jokic is just a great player. Nuggets averaging 117 this year. Warriors averaging 116 this year. This should be just a fun game. I think that they'll want to put on a show a little bit. They'll go at it. One team's going to start putting up baskets. The other team's going to match them. It's going to be an entertaining ball game. So, yeah, the over 226.5 is my lean. Go with your pick.
If we want to quickly throw in an NBA parlay, I don't mind the Lakers money line tonight, minus 136 against Houston. I like that one as well. All right, that was your lean.
That was the lean.
Okay, what's your
That was the
sprinkle?
lean.
My actual cool bet hotline of the day though it's making me sick to my stomach. I'm sick to my stomach right now. But you get to your sprinkle.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by that. Champions League action today. This is a sprinkle. This is just if you want the good story for something to come. Our local boy, Alphonso Davies, is taken to the pitch with Bayern Munich.
Okay.
For him to get an assist, it's plus 240. He's got 3 assists this season in 13 games. They're home. They're going to score some goals.
Harry Kane's flying.
It's one of those, if you're looking just to throw a couple bucks down just to on the local
sprinkle.
boy, that little bit that you're like, well, if it hits, great. But chances are, like, maybe not. This is the sprinkle.
All right, sprinkle.
Go on your local boy. Go on the local hero, Alphonso Davies. Plus 240 to have an assist in today's Champions League action. Sprinkle.
And I'm going, so we could put these two together as well. So, cool bet, if you are watching, if you want to build a couple of ESTs today, you can take the over 226.5 and the Dank Nugs and the Warriors and combine it with Lakers money line. I think we put that up. And then the local guy that everybody loves to get on the board with an assist. And for the first time in my life, my cool bet hotline of the day will be Austin Matthews to score a goal tonight at minus 120. I feel like that number should be more like minus 130 or minus 140 for Austin Matthews to score a goal here. They get the Ottawa Senators. It's at minus 120. The guy's been on an absolute tear, just basically brought them back in that game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I'm puking in my mouth a little bit. Like, this is a very shameful pick. This is me to myself picking an Austin Matthews goal.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
I can't even do it, but here we are. Austin Matthews to score tonight at minus 120 is your cool bet hotline of the day. Blech. let's get to a sports update. We've got free advice coming up. What do you need help with? 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We're going to get into that. Nasty chat as well. What do you need help with? Fantasy football, fantasy hockey, life advice, work advice, relationship advice. So many different things we can go, and we will help those courtesy Damon Bunting. Let's get to a sports update for Park Mazda.
NHL action last night. Flames coming back to top Nashville 4-2. Jonathan Huberdeau benched for the third period in that one. Coyotes get past the Kraken 4-3 in a shootout. Kyle Connor scoring twice. Jets knock off the Blues 5-2. Avalanche double up Jersey 6-3. Penguins shutting out Anaheim 2-0. The Sharks get their first win of the season 2-1 over the Flyers. Oilers yesterday waiving Jack Campbell for the purpose of assignment. Their 3-game road trip continues tomorrow night in San Jose against those Sharks. 3 games on the schedule tonight. Toronto host Ottawa. Florida visit Washington. And the Golden Knights are at home to the Kings. Raptors continue a road trip tonight with a stop in Dallas. NBA action resumes this evening. 14 games in total. In match day 4 in the UEFA Champions League group stage continues this morning and this afternoon with 8 matches. Highlighted by Manchester United away to Copenhagen. Arsenal hosting Sevilla, while Alphonso Davies and Bayern Munich take on Galatasaray. Sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and Mitch Lewicki. The way Mitch sells cars is very temperamental. 90% temper, 10% mental.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as newborn 8-pound, 6-ounce Mitch Lewicki. You can picture grown-up Mitch, or teenage Mitch, or bearded Mitch, or whoever you want.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Fire up my computer.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Need advice? We've got you covered. It's time for free advice. Brought to you by Damon Bunting. Buying or selling? Check out DamonBunting.com. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
This track is called Clap Your Hands, No Vocal Edit. It's got a good beat to it.
Not bad, hey?
I like that. I like that. Not bad, not bad. All right, let's get into it. Free advice for Damon Bunting. Check it out, DamonBunting.com. He's been a realtor for, I don't know, ever. And one of the best in the biz with RE/MAX in the Greater Edmonton and Western Canadian rankings. He and his team would love to help you find the right home. Visit him on Instagram, Damon Bunting Real Estate on Instagram. And visit his website. You see all the listings on there. Buying or selling. Bunting's your guy. We joke about him being a local slumlord. And, you know, he's very good at that. But he's also just a really good realtor to deal with. And he's a nice guy. We've had him on the Hangout. He's a good dude. So if you want to take your business to a good person, Bunting's your guy, DamonBunting.com. What do you need advice with? What do you need help with? 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Or, of course, you can hit us up in the nasty chat as well. I'm sure there's some people who need some fantasy football, fantasy hockey advice as well. Dusty, I'm a GM in the NHL. Won't say the team. But I look back at my time in Detroit, and the team I built was perfect. I need some advice on how to manage a team in the cap world. I don't know who that would be.
What do you got?
From. Yeah. All right, here's a few that have already trickled in today as well. Dusty, rest of season, Bijan Robinson or Breece Hall? I think the answer's got to be Breece Hall. I mean, is Bijan Robinson even playing? Has he had a season so far, let alone rest of season? So, yes, I would be in on Breece Hall the rest of the way on that one. Here's a good one. I've been to the last 13 Grey Cups. This year I'm supposed to work, and my boss says I can't get away. So do I quit and go? Do I call in sick? Or any advice? What do you think? 13 Grey Cups in a row, this guy.
You can't. You can't.
You can't miss.
You can't for what? Having to. Like, if you miss, it had to be for something.
Well, he says his boss won't let him go. He says, I'm supposed to work, but my boss, I'm supposed to work.
It can't be, it'd have to be like a family thing. It'd have to be something like Something bad to prevent you from going, not just work.
Not just work.
For 13 years, run.
For a
No,
Grey
you get
Cup, when
another
you've been at
job.
13, you're going to allow that streak to end because of work?
Yeah, new career. That's what the world is communicating to you here. That's the universe speaking to you, saying.
But you could go out this year and hit up Carrie Underwood on a Friday night and Green Day at halftime. That's pretty good entertainment for the Grey Cup, and you would rather win to a bunch of Grey Cups that didn't have as good of entertainment. So
13 years.
Yeah, no, there's. I can't sit here though and be like, quit your job. But I would just, you know what I would do? I'd sit down with your boss and be like, listen, do you know about the streak? I'm at 13 years. I'll bump into people at the Grey Cup who've been like, I've been to everyone for the last 40 years. Like, you wouldn't be able to be that guy if you missed one. Even if it's just one, you'll always know that, you missed the 2023 Grey Cup.
Get a portfolio. Get pictures from all the previous 13. Like, really showcase it to your boss. Say, can I have an hour of your time?
A full presentation.
And present. Like, state your case.
Do you think a PowerPoint gets this done? PowerPoint it.
Tip of my tongue there, yeah.
PowerPoint it. Hey, would you guys trade McDavid for Rantanen and Adam Fox in a keeper league? Woo. I have McDavid in a keeper league. But if somebody offered up Rantanen and Adam Fox, yes, I think I'd be like, see you later. Rantanen and Fox, that's a. I also don't want to sit here and give advice today of trading Connor McDavid in a fantasy league.
The trade is 1 for 2.
But that's a really sick deal. I think you kind of have to get in on that one. Dusty, would you trade Kittle for T. Higgins? Thanks, Jared. I am a huge T. Higgins stan, and now that Jamar Chase is a little banged up, yes, I think I probably would. Hey, Dusty, in a half PPR league, would you trade Rashad White for Olave? No. I don't think I would. 780-218-9999. Of course, in the nasty chat, if you need some advice as well. Penner's Pancake says, I think Dusty needs Bubbles glasses. What? Why do I need Bubbles glasses? What's that about? My goodness.
For you to say to me.
That's a hell of a thing for you
Yeah,
to say
no,
to
I
me.
play the clip, but I don't get the, what is something wrong with
Am I squinting?
Something wrong with the specs here? I like those glasses, actually. What is it?
Yeah, I
Oakley
like
brand?
these glasses, too. Jeez. I go full-blown Bubbles rant here.
Wouldn't mind you wearing them maybe for a shift, you know what I mean? Or a period.
A bubble,
maybe
like,
a segment.
I guess, maybe. All right, guys, I've been tasked with planning a staff Christmas party this year. We only have 12 people that work with us. Any suggestions?
So, tasked with planning it. First time, we're kind of, because us too, not those numbers of 12, but we have to kind of plan some sort of Christmas
Yeah, we would
party
have,
here,
well,
right?
actually,
So we're
by
kind of
the
in the
time
same
we
boat
invite,
here.
like, Gager and
Yeah,
Cass
that's true. Yeah,
and
we'd fill out the
phrase and the glue guy.
We
you
could
know,
ice
like,
a
we could
forward
probably
group.
do a 12
Yeah, yeah.
manner. One Putt Virtual Golf. They're on board the oil stream. That'd be a fun time. They do Christmas parties, birthday parties, all that stuff.
Oh, going out. I like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
renting a room.
I would
Yeah,
think
yeah,
going
yeah.
out. Like, what would you do? You could host a party. You can do anything if you're going to host 12 people. That's simple enough.
Potluck.
But a good old fashioned potluck.
I'm just thinking of the old engineers' Christmas party that we used to have back at the station. You'd sit around, you drink.
Was that a potluck, or were they? That was a potluck.
Yeah, it was
I
lots
never
of, like,
brought anything to that.
No,
you
did.
So it was an optional potluck.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
but you just sat there.
What
And
if-
people would
but
fill
it-
up your cup. It was great.
but what if you organize an optional potluck and nobody takes the option to bring anything?
This was like you with tailgating yesterday, was it not, Maddie? And walking around and people feeding you, and some sort of like you can't really. It's okay to go to an optional potluck and not bring anything. That's why people want you there. They brought things for you.
Yeah, but what if nobody brings anything?
Well, then you're in trouble.
Then it's a
No, so for the engineer Christmas party, our engineer, Bob Hunter, would typically have stuff he would bring. He would bring, like, a starters, if you will. Like, there was always going to be something.
nobody
'cause
else brought anything,
Rob
he'd have
was
you
bringing
covered, yeah.
stuff, and there was always going to be booze, because while we're a radio station, there's always booze around. But there's always a couple people that Bob knew would also bring. There was a couple people that, like Maggie, I think, would usually bring.
You had your
and
constants.
There was
that
a
you-
couple
yeah.
people that would constantly bring stuff for that party, that there was no fear.
I just worry about that being a problem, right?
Well,
Well,
I
but
can be the.
The funny part about that one, do you know why that ended at the station?
Well, because
Well, it was fun.
yeah,
Too much fun.
it's too much fun. That's
You're not far off, because it was TV didn't like it. The TV side didn't like
they
it.
were jealous of
Which
the radio
we're
engineer
also
party.
like, well, just join us.
Weren't we all invited? It
So
was
then
a-
instead, they made it that big staff, whole building Christmas party that It wasn't.
The engineer
TV,
party
man.
was real fun.
TV ruined everything.
But it was, TV didn't like it, or they were annoyed.
It's not
by
like it was a
the
rager. We'd go sit
No.
down, have a couple of bevies, and leave.
There was no raging. You sat around a room in a circle.
and it
was
wasn't
quiet.
even a nice room.
It would end with Bob, Trevor, myself, and Lucas just having a couple of drinks, and then helping Bob pack stuff
People
up.
pop by for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Man, we
He'd come
got
and go as he
buzzed.
plays. Oh, you'd get a little
The
going.
drinks were strong.
Oh.
Like, you just sat there and stared at Bob. It was hilarious.
Which the next when we did go to the staff Christmas parties, our former boss Rob Averick would pour heavy drinks.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, TV got they were jealous. They didn't like it, and they didn't like the fun we had, so we had to get rid of the engineer Christmas party. Which was like
typical.
There was it had tradition in that building that dated even the boss Bob Hunter went to his former boss, which was
So it was
Bedford
going
and stuff.
for 50 years. Like,
Well, not that long, but it had
Round
hit
up.
a number
Yeah.
time, and TV ended it. You TV people, you make me sick.
If nobody brings anything to the potluck, then it's a tough luck. Somebody texts in.
That's
at,
it from Fat Efron.
I love that one.
That's a good one. Let's get to this one, too. Guys, I've been with my girlfriend for 4 years now. She thinks she's an incredible singer. She's not. Do I keep playing along?
Was this a karaoke question or just around the house?
I don't know. This might just be an around the house question.
Because karaoke, I actually had a... over the weekend, I was at my local karaoke bar back home in Saskatoon. And
Yes, you were.
This was kind of a situation where the guy showed up, and his girl partner was... she was on the shots, and then she would get up and sing, and after about the fifth song and him sitting there sweating down the back of his neck, he decided to take her home. It was an embarrassing situation. But if it's around the house, I mean, maybe you just tell her, hey...
I think you
enough
just let
singing.
it be. Just
You
accept,
let it be?
Dude, look, if you love her, you accept her for who she is.
But there are things in a relationship where you have to kind of maybe meet in the middle, maybe singing from
So
only
you're supposed to sit down there and be like, listen.
3 p.m.
you
to 6
suck.
p.m. You can sing as much as you want. Outside of those hours, I want silence.
Or you're going to give a
Not
window.
not a tune,
a
not
window
whistle.
for singing.
Yeah, maybe and you make the window while you're at work or something like that, right? Then you negotiate a time when you're usually away. I don't know. There's got to be a middle ground here. You can't silence a songbird, but you can also kind of say, hey, you don't need to be. It's like every time that song, any song comes on, and then the significant other will sing along all the time. You don't want to ruin something. I'm speaking from experience, from me doing it.
Only 4 years in. Surveyor Brett says 10 years in, you're too far. I don't know. You probably should have called her on this 6 months in. That's what I would have thought.
Yeah. Can't bench her now, right? You created
can't-
a
you
David
can't do that
Draisaitl
now, I don't
situation
think.
here where you
Yeah, Menopause Nick says, do I run with Brock Purdy or Gardner Minshew? Keep in mind, we have a super flex, so this is my second quarterback. There's never not – Gardner Minshew is always the answer. Menopause Nick, don't even bother texting in again. Guys, I work for a construction company, and all of our parties are open bar, believe it or not. We've had a few doozies. Whew, I can imagine that. All right, so let's get to our legal analyst, Eric Macramalla, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, EST legal analyst. And guy who has ruined 3 TVs trying to roast marshmallows on the Fireplace channel. EST legal analyst and guy that hasn't slept in weeks because his kids told him the Charmin bears aren't real, and now he feels like he's wiping his butt for nothing. EST legal analyst and guy who is regretting investing all of his savings into that company that was making Oilers jerseys with the numbers made out of Campbell's soup can logos. That's a tough one, too. Macramalla, is this the office or are you at home today?
My man, I'm in the office. You
Wow,
can
with
tell,
no
'cause this
with
is
no tie or suit or anything. Amazing.
Casual Wednesday.
No,
Yeah.
today is casual because I wanted to celebrate Lieutenant Eric shaving his beard and mustache.
Hey, you noticed, hey? I'm a few days in.
Well, I noticed everything. I'm the guy that if you get a trim, just a trim, I'll go, hey, you look good. I love that haircut.
I cut up the
mean
nose
it.
as well. I went up here and I went in the ears. It was a full makeover for me on Sunday evening.
Okay, you see this. By the way, I've become obsessed. If Kenny Loggins and Kenny G had a baby, it would be you. This is it. Michael Bolton doesn't apply because you're more passionate than Michael. But here's the thing about all the hair growing out of your body. When I was on with Dustin, like one of our very first hits, this is going back 11 years, Dusty, maybe?
Yeah,
When
at
we did our
least.
hits
I was a
from my
young
prison
man.
cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was working on my appeal. That's where I ended up going to law school. I graduated first in my prison or in my cell block. I've told you, I said that my eyebrows were out of control, and I was in my 30s then. And now it's like there's hair. I had my hair cut, and the guy, Bakir, who's a genius, he's the Edward Scissorhands of Ottawa. He's like cutting the hair from inside my ears. Okay.
Do you do the wax? Does he shove the wax up your nose and in the ears?
For the hair wax?
Wax.
Hair wax?
The waxing of the, with the sticks.
The key is not getting your haircuts in the back of a van, Eric. Okay? No, he doesn't put wax or shove things into my ears. But this is the thing, Kenny G, is that you are looking. This is your future, and I'm Egyptian, but I'm a unique Egyptian in that I'm effectively hairless. I have no hair on my back. I am very smooth skinned. It's really incredible, but hair is growing out of places that it shouldn't be growing out of, and it's so disgusting. Like, I already disgusted myself. This is worse, but it's not worse than Jack Campbell. But it's bad. It's bad. Sorry, I had to slip that in there.
You went there.
Because when he signed for $25 million, I remember saying to myself, have they seen him play? I remember 5 years, 25 million. I'm thinking to myself, because he was a Leaf, so I saw him play a lot. I'm like, wow, someone just won the lottery, and someone's going to be fired in like 3 years. Bye, Ken Holland.
Well,
No,
what like from an outsider's view of this market right now, they were viewed by many to be the Stanley Cup favorite. And instead, the only team that's worse than them is San Jose, who they play tomorrow, and the Sharks are heating up. They won a game last night. So I think there's like this weird sort of like calm nervousness in the city that's like, totally going to blow out the Sharks. Don't worry about that. We're going to crush the Sharks. But what have you felt watching this market so far basically implode on this hockey team?
When Ken Holland was hired by the Oilers, I just stood in front of my TV yelling, overrated. Right? He had some great draft picks late in the draft, and that team was just so unique. And they had one of the best hockey players in the history of the game in Nicholas Lidstrom. The decisions that have been made have been surprising. Jack Campbell's at the top of the list. Coming into the season, I think we expected great things from the Oilers, but the question mark was always the same. Can you stop pucks? This has been the ongoing weakness, and there has been a general reluctance to trade away good players to get a goaltender. Yeah, there are a lot of goalies out there, but without goaltending, you have nothing. I've always joked you should rename hockey goalie because that's pretty much what it is. And then, you look at Nurse's contract. My God, I went through it this morning. I mean, you're paying him like he's an entirely different player. But deciding a Jack Campbell, to me, unfortunately, this is predictable. Having seen him play a lot of games, I'm like, I just didn't get it. And it's a circumstance where sports fans who reacted in that way had good reason to react in that way, and they were right.
Eric Macramalla.
That's a fireable offense, right? It ends up being a fireable offense because it gets you fired.
Well, and I mean, he's going to be done at the end of the year anyway, but if they were to lose to San Jose, I mean, I feel like somebody probably loses their job in addition to Jack Campbell, who was waived and will be sent down here. So that's where we're at right now. What about in your city? What about in your market with the Ottawa Senators? They've made the change. Pierre Doron is out after 8 years. That could not have come as a surprise to anybody in that market, could it?
I mean, the clock was ticking on Pierre. And I've had some sort of an inside beat on that for some time, and you could kind of see it coming. But the Dandanoff debacle was the last straw. And Michael Andlauer, the owner of the Sens, said it was, quote, the last straw. He was so direct in that press conference. It was amazing. I don't know why we're saddled with the Shane Pinto thing. We got to ask the NHL. And he just went on and on and on. Pierre, though, has a really good eye for talent. I mean, you have to give him credit for drafting Stützle and Sanderson. And those may well be the best players in that draft. So it wasn't all bad. I think there were just a number of mistakes that were made, having significant cap issues, carrying one less player because you don't have room under the cap. That's an issue. You could kind of see this coming. The Sens, though, need a culture change, and it started with a new owner. I would expect that there might be another change coming at some point in time, only because this team is a lot better than their record. Yeah, they've had injuries, but they should be doing a lot better than they're doing right now, I would think.
Legal analyst Eric Macramalla with us on the show this morning. I always like getting your thoughts on.
I got a new haircut, by the way. Do you guys like my new
Oh,
haircut?
sorry, man. We didn't even notice. I guess you're kind of far away from us, and you're kind of smaller on the screen. So.
Oh, I am. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
No, you look. I mean, you look great, though, buddy.
Is it gel? You put
Thanks.
gel in there? Does it need to hold or?
No, you're Kenny
water?
G. You're such an amateur. This is why you're still a lieutenant after 10 years. You haven't been bumped up to sergeant or even a colonel. No, I used to use this microfiber, right? My team of engineers, of hair engineers, who work on it. Now I've been introduced to this cement wax, and I gotta tell you, it changed my life. My hair has never been fuller. It's never looked fuller than it's looked now.
And it
so I
doesn't
brushed my
move
back
ever.
hair
Hey, like it
over.
just, yeah.
No.
God, that looks real nice. Real nice.
Thanks.
No, I want to get your thoughts on the NBA launching the play-in, like the in-season tournament this year, and trying to change things up and make maybe some months that we wouldn't be overly excited about possibly a little bit more interesting. What do you think of the NBA being a North American-based league going down that path?
I love it. How can you not want to try something new? Baseball and hockey have long regular seasons, and they do drag at certain points during the season. So why not try and make it count? Look, it may not work out, but why not give it a shot? Why not make things interesting for fans and make things interesting for players? Yeah, I know that Kawhi Leonard will probably miss half of it, and some players may sort of bow out. Hey, I pulled my groin, but what it is, it's an attempt by Adam Silver to think outside the box and to try and deliver a higher level of entertainment, sustained entertainment to NBA fans around the world. And this is how he wants to try and do it. So if you don't try things, nothing will happen, right? If you try, maybe you'll fail, but maybe it'll be a success. And maybe the NHL will follow suit if this ends up working. We know that Gary Bettman loves to kind of piggyback on the ideas of other leagues. So maybe they'll do it. I think I like the idea. I don't know about you guys, but I love when someone tries something different, when someone is bold, right? Like shaving your beard or mustache. It's bold.
When was the last time you didn't have a beard?
Grade 4.
Can you go clean
remember-
next week? Can you go absolutely smooth? Like you got smooth. I want clean, fresh face.
What I'm picturing now is you'll be introduced next week to the Egyptian powder. Remember powder? So I'll have special powers. The Egyptian. Yes, if you want, I can go completely bald. It'll take a while, but I would like to see you shave your head for one of those charitable kind of.
I have.
He did that.
I have.
He did
I
do
did,
that.
and I have. I dyed it all pink. It was pink. We did a pink.
And then you shaved it
whatever, and
off.
I shaved it off. My head is shaped actually pretty fair that I can rock a shaved head.
You do look good with a
but
shaved
it's very
head.
small. It's like a pinhead, so it kind of.
Are you totally bald on top of that, under that cap? Like
Yes.
you have no hair there?
This isn't even hair. It's all a ruse. It's all attached.
It's a wig that comes
You're
with our
the
new
Andre-
Edmonton Sports Talk
yeah.
hats.
You get the hair included.
Yeah,
$30.
This is why you changed your Twitter handle to the Andre Agassi of Sports Radio.
I wish.
Hey, where do you tell us? Like, I know I think it was Bob Nightingale who linked the Blue Jays to possibly be in the mix for Ohtani. I shouldn't get excited about that, right? Like, that's not happening, right?
No, I don't
Damn.
think so. I think that the Blue Jays have some serious issues. I mean, what did they do in the last offseason? Hey, we're going to go for guys who can catch balls but can't hit.
Yeah.
What happened? They didn't score any runs. I mean, give me a break. It was Dalton. Someone asked me when they signed Varsho, what is he? He's like a 220 hitter. Where did he bat this year? 220. Literally. Like, these are not big leaps. These aren't difficult conclusions to come to. You need some level of offense. You need it. So Ohtani could provide that, but he's not going to come play in Canada. The guy is living in California. He'll just go over to the Dodgers. That's what he's going to do. If he goes to the Blue Jays, Eric will shave his head again.
How dare you convince somebody else
Not
to do
for
something
that.
with their hair when it's not your decision? That's ridiculous.
I think this is a good panel because we all have hair. It's nice.
Yeah, that is a good panel. You're right. Before we let you go,
You guys are very handsome. Yes.
thanks, man. We try to be. That's why we're a lot of good flannel lately. I'm on flannel week.
Yeah, you're wearing
I
flannel
got
till
so
they win,
many
right?
good
Is that
flannel
what they
shirts.
do?
I keep this running for 3 weeks.
But do you feel like this is that like a darkish kind of gray or green? Like what is that? I'm not really-
It's a black grayish.
I see
think.
some green in there.
Is there some green in
Yeah,
there?
yeah, very
Charcoal?
dark.
Is this
Oh,
like
like a
that
charcoal?
dress back in
Forest
the day?
vert.
It's like, is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
blue
yeah.
or whatever? Like, yeah. No, it's. I don't know. I just know it's comfortable. What color do you guys think this is?
There's a bit of green on there.
Is there green in there?
Well,
Maybe charcoal. Maybe it's charcoal.
who are
Depends
you
on the
talking
light.
to? Are you talking
Well,
to
like
the
Matt and
homeless?
Trevor over here.
There's
We
a
have
studio
more
audience
people.
behind
Yeah,
the,
there's so
yeah.
many people in here, man. It's huge. These are other people who help us do the show over here. This is Matt. That's his hand. And then YouTube, Trev's even
Matt's
further
been around
back.
forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, so we were asked today on our free advice segment, what should you do with a Christmas party if you're planning it and there's like 12 people? I would assume you being rich and working at a law office, do you manage a huge Christmas party? Is that how it works?
Well, actually, I used to manage the Christmas party for our intellectual property department. It's about 150 people or so.
Holy smokes.
I did it for 3 years. I named it after one of the other lawyers. His name was Mark Richard. I called it the Mark Richard IP Christmas extravaganza. And he walked into this bar, and his face was everywhere with different sayings. And I even morphed his face with Obama when Obama was running. It was really, and I made T-shirts.
Holy
with his
smokes.
face on it. It was, one person came, and he said, "This is better than my Christmas party." He went somewhere else. Then I stopped doing it after 3 years. But I do a sock exchange because, you see, remember years ago when you get socks for Christmas? Can I call it Christmas? Am I allowed? I mean, someone's going to sue me. When I would, you get socks for Christmas, it was the worst gift in the world, right? So about 15 years ago, I started this sock exchange with some buddies. I said, you have to buy a pair of socks and give it around. And that's a testimonial tribute to the worst gift ever. But midstream, socks became an amazing, sexy thing, just like Lieutenant Eric without a beard and mustache, something that you can't look away from. And so this has been going on for 15 years. I get, we go to this restaurant, nice private room, and everyone wraps their socks and buys socks, and we go around and we exchange socks. And so that's what I do now. I don't do the law firm thing anymore because I've been banned from doing it for obvious reasons. So I just do something smaller. As you get older, everything kind of gets smaller, including all the friends you have.
We'll catch up with you next week, buddy.
I love you guys. I
Love
love you
you.
guys.
I love
and that
you.
water bottle right in the middle.
Yeah,
That's
I
beautiful.
know. I
Just,
should
it's
move
supposed
that.
to be
even a bunting.
I'm trying to drink water, try to stay healthy, man.
Is it your wife who told you to start drinking water?
Yeah. It's my wife. Yeah.
She's not the boss of you, all right? All right, guys. Take care.
See you later, buddy.
Goodbye.
What does he know? He's a lawyer. Of course she's the boss of me. You think I want to drink water just because? No chance. Pat Maroon's Bib says Macramalla used to manage the Christmas party until it turned into a huge orgy.
Well, I was waiting for that to kind of get in there. Right?
that
You
joke
mentioned
was
12
gonna-
people in a room.
It was going to come somewhere, I think. So, yes, Macramalla popping by for the great staff at Park Mazda, where if you want to buy a truck, just like me, they got a bunch of used trucks in the lot. Yeah, I was showing off my truck to a friend yesterday. First time I went out for a drink with a buddy, and I was just like, driving a truck now.
So how did you show it off, though? You take him in the parking
lot?
lot?
Well, when we left,
did
I
you
said,
burn
come,
out?
I said, come see the truck.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. I opened up the door.
Did the tailgate thing?
I opened up the door. Oh, I didn't even do the tailgate thing. But I opened up the door, and I was like, here's the inside of the truck. He's like, nice. And then I was like, and this is the outside of the truck. And he's like, nice. And then I was like, okay, well, see you later.
Did you kick it a few times?
No, I didn't even kick the tires. I haven't kicked the tires once on this thing.
Should have done that before
I've
you
not
bought
kicked.
it.
I know.
don't
Ooh, that's a really
You know
good
what?
point.
Probably throw a ripping party is Mitch at Park Mazda. Hey, that dealership and Christmas
That
parties. I bet you-
staff Christmas party is
stuff
probably
of
awesome.
legend, yeah.
Yeah. Every year, 3 people get fired the next day.
They hand out lampshades when you walk in. Here, take one. Everybody's wearing them by the end of the day.
All right, we've got kind of easy trivia coming up. If you'd like to get your hands on a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, just fire in a text, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, and we will give you a call. Let us know why you somehow stand out. I want to play. Please pick me. I love Mr. Mike's, whatever. The boys will grab one of you. You'll play kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many coming up. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power for United Sport and Cycle. Cool place to go. Just hang out and play sports until they kick you out. And then we've got Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week coming up on a Wednesday. What a time to be alive. Let's get to a sports update with Lieutenant Eric.
NHL action last night saw the Flames come back to top Nashville 4-2 with Jonathan Huberdeau benched for the third period. Coyotes over the Kraken 4-3 in a shootout. Kyle Connor with a pair. Jets knocking off the Blues 5-2. Avs double up the Devils 6-3. Penguins shutting out Anaheim 2-0. And the Sharks getting their first win of the season 2-1 over the Flyers. Oilers will continue a 3-game road trip tomorrow night in San Jose. The club waiving goaltender Jack Campbell yesterday for the purpose of assignment. Just 3 games around the NHL tonight. Toronto hosts Ottawa. Florida visiting Washington, and a big Pacific Division showdown as the Golden Knights are at home to the LA Kings. Toronto Raptors continue a road trip tonight with a stop in Dallas. NBA action resumes this evening with 14 games scheduled, and match day 4 in the UEFA Champions League group stage continues this morning and this afternoon with 8 matches in total. Sports update for United Sport and Cycle, your home of hockey for over 95 years.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.804 on the Nielsen Show. Thank you very much for being here today. You can text us anytime at 780-218-9999. We are having some fun with this clip today. This is probably how you're going to win text of the day for A and Dub. I send in a clip that works well with this.
A hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Let's set it up one more time. We've got some good ones. I think one of my favorite ones so far was Bouchard when Dave Manson tells him to play structurally sound defense.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Such confidence, hey? Like, he's just,
that is a hell of a thing for you to say to me. So what do you got? Get creative with it. Have some fun. And we'll continue with that. That could be how you end up getting texted. Like, for me, Macramalla basically telling me to move my water off the desk.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Where am I supposed to put this water? On this side?
You're just trying to get
weird,
healthy.
Because then I got to look away from there. Down on the floor?
That's what I've been
You
doing.
want me to be drinking floor water?
I drink floor water.
Well, I have the... Oh, you keep your water on the floor?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I did.
Well, then I guess I could do that, too.
It can work.
I don't want to drink this water. This water's been sitting here for 3 weeks.
Empty it.
Why can't I just drink this water? I don't understand. Oh, this is guest water?
That's the
well,
point.
sorry, guys.
Well, that's what we have.
I didn't realize that we were saving these for guests.
You're crushing 5 buntings a morning, and everybody's like, I'm thirsty
Damn.
for water.
Sorry, boys. I guess
2 hours in the hangout, parched dry. Here you are.
Okay, well, I'll stop drinking the guests' water.
The best part is you'll leave like half of them. There's just like half quarter bottles lying around.
I know.
My mic's unplugged.
Okay.
But just fill that up, and whatever you don't finish, put in the fridge. Let it be cool for the next day.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fill this up. I'm gonna fill this up with water, drink it. Then whenever I don't do, I'm gonna put it in a fridge that everybody else has access to and could possibly try to poison me. Like, I'm talking not you guys, I hope, but like, what about the psychiatrist lady?
I keep my
What if she's
Michelinas
one of those crazy
in there
psychiatrists
all the time.
who like wants to kill people? She could go and poison my water just because I had to put it in that fridge. I don't know if I got time for that, boys. That worries me a little bit. There's no room in this fridge. It's a huge thing. That's a small fridge.
Move those into the big fridge.
It all seems ridiculous to me. We can't put all our beers in the main fridge. Russian spa guys would be taken like crazy.
That we can't do.
Right?
Nobody's touching your water.
Don't you put your Michelinas in that fridge?
I do, and nobody's touched it.
Nobody's messing
It's
with it
great.
yet.
No, nobody's messing
or
with
so
mine.
you think. Mind you, there is a camera in that kitchen for some reason.
Yeah, to prevent theft or messing around with water. I think that would be
So-
that's got to be the safest kitchen to store an open bottle
Or
of
is
water.
the camera only there because there had been some water tampering in the past?
But
We don't
and
know
now
that
you
answer either.
Must feel more safe now with the camera in play.
If we had
Hire a security guard.
If we had access to that camera feed, I would feel a lot better just about the kitchen in general. Like, who's watching us over there? Where's that camera? The landlady in Vancouver watching us on a camera over there?
Tube Socks is up for you getting roofied for a show, though. That'd be kind of rather entertaining.
I like the guy who suggests, Pat Maroon's bib. Dusty, the only way to address this issue is with a beer hat. Get the hat on with 2 bottles of water. We could do that for a show. That'd be kind of fun. All right, so send your text messages for this.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Could be how you win text of the day. That's going in the vault moving forward. All right, who is playing Kind of Easy Trivia today?
We have Keith.
Who the hell is
Keith.
this?
Yeah.
You
How's
too,
it going,
Trev?
boys? How's it going, boys?
How are you
Hey,
doing,
Trev.
buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. This is a lot of fun, having a grand old time, and Maddie's hogging the mic over there. I figured I'd give her a go. No, I'm just joking. He's showing me the ropes. We're having a lot of fun, and thanks, boys, for letting me be a part of it.
You, ladies and gentlemen, you too, Trev. I love it. All right, so who do we have again? Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, this is Keith.
Okay, Keith. All right, Keith is going to play Kind of Easy Trivia today. Let's go to Keith. Keith, good morning. How are you?
Good, Dusty. How are you?
I am doing just fine. As always, this is brought to you by the great staff and the crew over at Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. It's in the Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave and St. Albert Trail. And we do suggest you get your hands on the sirloin bites. They are to die for. Keith, you need to get 3 out of 5 correct, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. I'll start the ticker out to read the first question. Good luck, man. Who did the Oilers send down to the minors yesterday?
Jack Campbell.
Who did the Oilers call up from the minors?
Pass.
Did the Flames win last night?
Yes.
Who will the BC Lions play in the CFL West Final?
Winnipeg.
Which city is home to the CFL's Alouettes?
Montreal.
Boom. He got it. I was a little worried.
The pausing for effect.
No! Oh, my God. Damn it, Shake, stop it!
They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment.
Totally.
People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV.
That's stupid.
It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just
I'm
so stoked.
You cannot come to my house. No, 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 not today.
Cannot come to my house. No, 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 not today.
I got a little concerned when he wasn't aware of Pickard being the guy that was going to be called up. But he came through.
Or is it just gamesmanship from Keith? Like he wants to kind of create a bit of a...
He's about the drama.
Yeah,
Well, I appreciate
really
that.
like that.
As a guy whose middle name is Keith, I appreciate other Keiths having some fun with things. First, I thought for a second, well, it might have been my dad. I was just like, oh, please tell me HR Daddy's not online here trying to win a gift certificate. Like that
I thought it was
brutal.
Keith Yandel.
Wow, that would have been cool too.
Wouldn't that have been
I also, it could have been my neighbor Keith.
You have a neighbor, Keith?
Yeah, he's
and your middle
he's
name
a
is
firefighter, and my middle name's Keith.
Keith is a
We're
firefighter.
not related.
Keith is a firefighter. Of
You
course.
think so?
That's
Yeah.
a firefighter name.
You really think so?
I think so. You get the big bushy mustache, right? That's Keith.
Yeah.
Does he have a mustache? No.
No, he doesn't have a mustache, but he'd look good with a mustache.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Keith, firefighter mustache.
Yeah, no, that's a good
It's a
one.
good stack.
Dusty, when you guys tell him to stop drinking the waters.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
It really is. It's a hell of a thing for you to say to me. Is that our cool bet lines? Are they already up? All right, we'll bring that up here. Then we'll get to 3 questions too many. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power, and then we're gonna have a little bevy today. Oh, another thing I wanted to do on the show today. I totally forgot about this. What could we do tomorrow to help the Oilers get off the schneid here? What do you think? Remember somebody said we should sacrifice something?
I'll bench myself.
What'd you say? Goonie shirt.
You gotta-
Goonie shirt.
Well, actually, the coffee and the Baileys for him. Yes. Okay, so we're stacking this now. Goonie shirt, coffee. Like we'll
Okay,
we'll get this
it's
thing
gonna be a
back
nice
on
show.
track. Yeah.
Thursday can be a great show. Gonna be a great show. All right, let's see here. So we had a couple of exclusives posted. Just go to coolbet.com. Our exclusives are up. Alphonso Davies with an assist. Austin Matthews with a goal. Plus 575. Remember, the Davies thing was nothing more than a sprinkle from Mr. Sprinkle today. And then the Lakers to win and the Warriors and Dank Nugs over 226.5 points plus 260. You can find those right now over at coolbet.com. And if you've not yet signed up for an account at Coolbet, you can use the code LOCKSHOP. When you do one word, you'll get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to 200 smackaroos. So if you deposit $50, they'll give you a bonus $50, and they'll do that up to 200. All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today. We'll get to more of your text messages on. That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me. I want to start when we do that bit. I want the thin mustache and the cowboy hat on, just like Val Kilmer.
It really adds to the. I mean, the quote's the quote, but with the visual.
Doc Holliday, like Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday in Tombstone, is a top 10 movie character of all time for me.
It's a character that you think the guy playing the character actually is.
Yeah. He was so good
If
that
he
you're like,
walks
this is
down the
just who
street,
he
you'd be
is.
like, that's Val Kilmer there.
All right, do you have a liner for the segment today?
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. And he's called dealer principal and respected as a dealer principal because he benches sales associates who don't sell 5 cars a month. Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
5 cars a month would be a great month, I think.
It's a
I think
tight
that's a
ship.
really good month.
Yeah, well, he has high expectations, and if you don't meet the bar there, it's he's not afraid. He's not afraid of running people out of the dealership.
He doesn't fire you, but he puts you on the bench.
No, and you learn, you're like, okay, well, and it's all from a respectful, he does it with a respectful hand, a gentle hand,
Yeah,
right? A teaching hand.
I've got to take my truck back to Park Mazda because I got the full protection package. You know, I don't know if I got sucked into it, if it was a great idea, but my truck is going to be fully protected in every single way, interior, exterior, underneath the bloody thing.
Even the spirit.
Oh,
will
yeah,
be,
the whole thing.
Yeah,
I think they called me yesterday. I think I have to get that in because I haven't got it in yet. So I got to get that in at some point.
Mitch lays the Park Mazda blessing upon it, and it's just got
That's
go forth.
That's what it
and,
is.
Yeah, it's perfect vehicle moving forward.
All right. Do you have a Twitter account?
I do. It's at Lieutenant_Eric, and you can also follow Edmonton Sports Talk at YEG Sports Talk on Twitter. where a poll has been issued this morning.
There's a poll out there today. Do I even want to see this poll?
Go vote. If you want to vote, let your voice be heard.
Let me see what's this poll
Be somebody
about here?
today.
All right, let's see. What is the poll today? I don't see it. Oh, over at the Sports Talk.
Yeah, not
okay. So I was looking at your account.
At YEG Sports.
Ooh, 4,432 followers. That's nice. Ooh, who would you start in net tomorrow?
You gonna vote?
I did vote.
You're looking at the options?
I
Man,
voted.
now you're looking at the results. Yeah, okay.
Pickard 65.4%, Skinner 34.6%. That's where we're at. Like last year's goaltender who was nominated and many people thought should take a good run at winning the Calder Trophy is now losing a poll by 30% to Pickard from the American Hockey League. That's the type of start that it's been to the season. Anyway, give us a follow over there at Yeg Sports Talk on Twitter. Me, when my ex-wife said I spent too much time listening to the Nielsen Show.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
That's good.
No,
I like it.
ex-wife, yeah.
Keep those rolling in.
And that was the end of the marriage.
Leon Draisaitl when Woodcroft tells him to take a seat for 5 minutes.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Me, somebody texted this one in earlier. I just remembered it. Me, every time somebody says that LeBron James is not the greatest of all time.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
780-218-9999. Shout out to Doc Holliday in Tombstone. All right, question number 1. Remember, you can always submit your questions. Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. Question number 1. What's more likely, guys? Campbell never plays for the Oilers again or he starts a playoff game this year?
No.
That's one way or the other right there.
Playoff game this year.
Yeah, I think the answer is still playoff.
You going back to this, you said
I already claimed that he'd be here by the 27th, 28th, or whatever.
Using that framework, yeah, I'll go with the
I think
former, the latter.
it's more likely that he's starting a playoff game this year.
Yeah.
If you remember, he was the only good thing they had going between the pipes in the playoffs last year. If it wasn't for him, they probably don't even get by the Kings.
Pound
and
of
they
flesh.
still wouldn't start him.
Pound of flesh.
Question number 2. Ooh, good. Thank you for the CFL question. If you could take any player remaining in the CFL Final Four and put them on the Elks next season, who would it be? Maddie's like, oh, what a question.
Well,
because it's weird because we like their quarterback.
Yeah.
We like their running back. Like I really like Kevin Brown, and we like Geno Lewis, and we like their receivers, even though like BC and Winnipeg have amazing receivers. Like, how would you not want Dalton Schultz?
Are we doing? Is this an offensive line answer here? Is that what we're kind of tracking towards?
Are we going to actually say Jamarcus Hardrick?
Saying so, yeah. I guess. Well, that's
a really tough look.
I know what the question's trying to do, but I think you have to go to maybe the less sexy answer.
Anybody
the more
on the
answer?
Toronto offensive line?
Sure.
Toronto offensive line has been insane this year.
Yeah, I mean, as far as weaponry, I think they have most aspects covered.
There's got to be somebody on the defensive side of the ball that we would throw in here. Demario Houston, shut down corner. Well, shut downish corner. He had a great start to the year. I've watched him at times get caught jumping things. So I still think there needs to be some refinement to Demario Houston's game. But I can see that being
a real stud back there, hey? Like a real game breaker.
You know who I also love? I do love that Evan Holm in Winnipeg on the defense, too. I mentioned him earlier. Dietrich Nichols. Actually, my answer might be Dietrich Nichols. Matthew Betts. They had Matthew Betts. That's a real sting. That's a real, yeah. No, nothing against Betts, but Serezna and AC Leonard did a pretty good job.
Sean White, yeah, maybe that is the play, hey? From a selfish
wait a second.
Edmonton
You're going to
sports
say
talk
Sean
point
White
of view?
when we had Dean Faithful sitting right in between us?
That holds
Poor Dean Faithful right now.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
But I mean, Sean White. If Sean White was to move back here and play, we'd have a show on Edmonton Sports Talk. Like it would.
Selfishly for us, I think that would be but if you could keep.
Yeah.
If you keep both.
I'm trying to think of like Gary Peters, like anybody in the secondary, in BC, TJ Lee, Marcus Sales.
Time for Gary Peters.
Gary Peters is basically the shutdown corner. Man. Yeah, I guess that's why these teams are the last two standing. I know we all talk about like their offenses, which I totally get.
Offensive line and defensive is what we're
Gary
talking.
Peters, Dietrich Nichols, Evan Holm, TJ Lee, Marcus Sales, like Winston Rowe, like it's ridiculous riches on the defensive side of the ball for both of these teams. Tube Socks is our sick puppy of the day. Great news. You can now get the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup at plus 1,300. That's much better value than it was before the season started, which I think it was like 8-1. I think that's the highest they got, 8-1. 13-1 still, I mean, I can't believe it's not even more with the way that they've started.
I mean,
if
they go on to win, you got to look at some sort of insider trading on this, do you not?
Yeah, that seems...
they're going to win the cup, and then they don't do anything, and then they go on to win the cup. Better odds.
That was like the theory the other day of them tanking early in the season to improve the value of their pick, then using it to trade Jack Campbell, then turning around and making the pick not really worth that much in the end. Very clever play. Very clever.
I mean, they chart sleeping now, right? Who's to say?
Yeah, and they
in
chart
2023.
I'm pretty sure in some of these places they chart your piss, right? Like in the urinals, they like you like swipe a card, take a leak. And then it'll like report back to you on like an iPad or a phone or something. It's like, hey, you need to go eat a banana. So that's kind of neat. I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
God help us if we were bringing those
it's
in
a
here.
thing. Don't look. Scott Lorry's looking at me being like, you're nuts. But I think they track. I think they track athlete urine.
Why not?
Exactly.
Well, it's the side of the game. If you got to get that edge.
Somebody can confirm that for me. At least on NFL teams. I don't know if it's gotten to the NHL too. But, yeah. I guess it's a thing. Question number 3. This one came in a little bit earlier in the 6 o'clock hour. I just saved it. Guys, when's the next draft and what are you drafting?
Great question.
It is a really good question. We did talk during the last draft of doing that full-blown Saturday night live draft. That would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. What are we looking at here for? Let me just bring up the...
I still maintain the draft
today
of drafts.
Probably would have been the day.
One round.
The draft of draft. Just one round.
One round.
That's just not enough. That's just not enough. When could we fit in a draft here? Let's see. Oilers play next Wednesday. That's not going to happen. They play the following Wednesday. And then the late November one, they play Tuesday and they play Thursday, so that's not really ideal. Then after that, they play another Wednesday. Oh, I guess our drafts don't have to be on Wednesday. We just always kind of done them on Wednesday.
We can do whatever we want.
We can do it whenever we want. If they don't play on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we could probably do it.
Here's
Mr.
an
Lean's
idea.
taking the phone
Here's
back.
an
YouTube
idea.
trap.
This would be a day. But we had the idea of doing a watch party on the 24th. And sorry for people, I'm leaning. I'm not too close to the mic.
Wait a second. Mr. Lean is leaning right now? Unbelievable.
We talked about a watch party on American Thanksgiving the 24th because Capitals play at 1.
Yeah, we're gonna put out a YouTube stream of us watching the game.
So that's already going to be a mess of a day. What if that's also draft day? You don't have to do a noon show because there'll be the pregame show.
That is a hell of a thing.
So
for
if
you
we
to
did the
say to
morning
me.
show, transitioned into the draft, you and Huss could do lock shop. Tommy takes over pregame, watch party at 1, postgame 3:30-ish.
Unbelievable. I love it.
I don't know if
Because
that's,
then we get
that's a lot
our
to the day.
post-draft reaction while we're doing the watch party.
There's a lot happening, and it's a
God.
Friday.
My God.
We need to incorporate Jamie.
What date is this? What date is this?
It's a Friday the 24th potentially, so it's the week after Labor Day.
Yeah, okay.
It is
You mean
Vanier
the
Cup
week after Grey
weekend.
Cup.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Vanier Cup weekend, though. We might be getting pumped for a Bears national title game. But that's just one idea I'm looking at because there is a lot of Oiler games coming up.
That could work. I don't mind that idea at all. And that's like 3 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away. Let's mark it down on the calendar. We'll throw it at the agenda on the meeting next week. Okay, I'll put that toss it on the agenda. Matt Cassian is in. Man, every time Cass texts in, there's still that picture of him where I think his elbow looks like a butt crack. Yeah, he sent in one time. Jack Campbell's. This is a good one for Cass. Jack Campbell's cat, when he find out that Jack's leaving for California without him.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Coming from a cat, that's got the right.
Jack Campbell's cat.
The hell of a thing.
It's like, sorry, man, I gotta go down to California for a bit.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Well done, Cass. Well done, buddy.
But,
that's pretty good.
Being told by your urinal that you need to cut back on the snacks.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Staring at your piss. Like, down the...
That's pretty good too. Well, the urinal, would that be in robot voice? Let me see here. This is the urinal. This is you after. Let's see here.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
It's just too roboty. We need to bring down the robotiness on that a little bit. But we'll make a note. We'll put it on the agenda for the meeting next week. All right, there you go. That is 3 questions too many. Brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda. Let's get into Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power.
Yeah. Play a song, won't you?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let me wait a sec here. I've
this is
added a
smooth.
few more into the system.
Smooth as silk.
This
here.
one is called Climb Higher.
I like it.
Which might have a little bit of a Creed vibe. I don't even know. I'm kind of excited about it. Let's do it. Oh, and I'll turn up your computer.
Yeah. Fire me up.
Oh, robot voice is still on the range.
The robot.
This is pretty chill.
Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power, brought to you by United Sport and Cycle on Edmonton Sports Talk.
This is really chill.
You like that?
We also got this one here. It's called Epic Adventure Trailer. So this sounds like something
Give it
for
a shot,
movie.
yeah.
All right, you want to give that a shot too? Here, let's give this a shot. Can you play the thing again?
Let's go. But this.
Listen to this.
Imagine a draft.
Oh.
Like,
Today on Edmonton Sports Talk. They're drafting.
This could work for maybe not a weekly rankings of power, but this has got potential.
I think something's going to kick in here in a second. Let's see where it goes. Woo! Yeah. I like it. That's good. There's something we could do something with that. No doubt about it. All right, let's get in your weekly rankings of power, buddy. Brought to you by the great staff over at United Sport and Cycle. Home of hockey for, I don't know, what is it, 100 years? It's 95 years. So your home of hockey, supporting hockey and your community for over 95 years. And when you think sports equipment of any kind, even people outside of our market, when you think sports equipment, what's the first thing you think of? And I'm not just talking hockey equipment. But when you're thinking sports equipment, the very first thing that everybody in this city thinks of is United Sport and Cycle, which to me is very cool as a company that top of mind for everybody in the city, which is awesome. All right, what do you got here, buddy?
The top 10 Jack Campbell scenarios while down in Bakersfield.
Well down there.
I feel like I've done this before. I feel like I've done a weekly rankings of power with this before. Maybe not Jack Campbell, but maybe another name. But scenarios down in Bakersfield seems to pop up every once in a while, and I'll go over the top 10 that Jack Campbell may face while down in Baco.
I like that. That would be a movie trailer. All right, number 10, buddy. What do we got?
He was waived for the purpose of bringing Condors goalie coach Sylvain Rodrigue back with him. That's the plan. They didn't want to.
Interesting.
So he has to go down there, grab him, bring him back. They get some sort of a deal on the flyer. It's a deal. It's a 2-for-1 deal. But yeah, no, you saw that name pop up in the nasty chat a few times on the text line. I know we haven't talked about it, but I mean, I figured I would add it in here. People want their pound of flesh, and maybe Sylvain Rodrigue coming up here to coach the goaltenders is the answer. We never knew.
Number 9.
Cleans up his urine. It's the urine game was so bad. He goes down there and it's crystal clear.
I don't know if they're running urine tests
back
and
to a
urinals
925 save percentage
in the American League. Though.
Maybe the technology. Yeah, hey.
Number 8.
Collaborates with Dwight Yoakam on a new Jack Campbell shutout song called "Streets of Ice District." You get in the booth, make a real good because they know we're not in the business right now. They know we're new, and so he'll give the song to us. Of course, it'll never be played. It'll be like the Tell Botto we didn't play too much either.
Yeah, the Koskinen shutout song. We need a
stuff
hero.
of legend. Yeah. Still never got one.
Number 7.
Becomes a dog guy and totally rediscovers his game. Hey, just ditches it's a new place. It's a new. He goes back to the old country, I guess, in the United States, but it's just maybe
No more kitty cat.
Out with the cats. You've gone to the dogs.
Well, don't they say, man, you know what Jack Campbell needs to find? He needs to find that dog in him.
Yeah.
And maybe that would help. Number 6.
Takes up a side gig as a lifeguard.
Be a fun side gig.
Yeah.
I really encourage the kids to stay in swimming so that they can become lifeguards one day. That'd be a pretty cool job. As like nothing against us working at Save On, but imagine like being a lifeguard. It feels like you're just a cool dude.
And you have to be a prick.
And you can save people.
That was the joke.
Number 5.
The save.
Yeah.
It takes a CPR course in order to learn how to save.
Hey, recitate a season.
Saving. Resuscitation.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Wins the Baz Bastion Memorial Award. Top AHL goalie.
Oh, is it the top AHL goalie?
Yeah.
I see people were talking yesterday online. Jesper Wallstedt, the guy that they could have drafted at 19, but traded down, took Xavier Bourgault.
Baz Bastion.
He was the AHL goalie of the week.
Ooh.
And he fell right into their lap at 19. And when that happened, I was like, this is it. This is the pick. Like, this is the guy. And then they traded down. Number 3.
He'll be back up here in a couple weeks.
I think that's probably the case. Number 2.
Finds his game.
Wouldn't that be something? Finds his game and is back in a couple of weeks.
Like, not even, they don't bring him back because they have to, because Pickard can't do anything here, but they bring him back because he's playing that well.
Number 1.
In the top 10 Jack Campbell scenarios while down in Bakersfield, nothing. He won't make it down there.
Whoa. A waiver claim. Are you suggesting a waiver claim is coming?
That's what it would, yeah.
That would be the whole city.
Highly unlikely.
The whole city if Jack Campbell gets claimed off waivers. Did you hear about Jack Campbell? This is a Marvel. This is a Marvel intro. That's what this is.
You know.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No.
But again, for the Sharks to do it would be so huge for ESPN.
The Sharks claiming Jack Campbell and starting him against the Oilers is the rivalry we didn't know we needed or ever thought could actually exist.
Yeah, that'd get you eyes on McDavid down south.
Well,
and he's an American. It would be such a great story for Disney, for ESPN, for everybody involved in the sport of hockey.
780-218-9999. That is the weekly Rankings of Power brought to you by United Sport and Cycle. 4th generation, family-owned and operated business for over 95 years. I was actually down there on Halloween picking up those gift certificates that we give away with the local spin, which will be later in the week. And the whole crew was dressed up for Halloween. It just seemed like a real nice time. Real nice time. Dusty, that sounds like the intro to the final round of a major of a golf tournament.
You need Nance over top of that.
Yeah, you mix some Nance in over top of that. That's a really good read on that, right? This is the final round of the Open Championship. Jordan Spieth meets his friend Ricky Fowler on the 18th with one putt to win it all. And see, that would work. I like that one. That's
yeah.
Yeah, that works. That's pretty
NFL
good, actually.
films, maybe even too. You could
Enough with NFL films. What do we want?
CFL films.
CFL films. Make that happen already.
Brian Williams. That's all you need. Brian Williams, that bad, and a couple of shots of the Fog Bowl or something.
Was Dusty waiting for the beat to drop on the evening news intro? Does sound a little. That doesn't sound modern day evening newsy. It sounds like early 2000s evening newsy, I think.
People are loving it, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, it's
We'll need to-
understandable. So have anybody confirm that they actually have urinals that tell you what's going on with your piss? Pretty sure it's a thing. Look it up. It's a thing. You can't find it? Have I just invented something amazing?
Maybe it was a dream.
No, man, this is not. You know what?
You fell asleep in a water massage pod, and then you had this like lucid.
No, it's a thing. I swear to God,
Then
it
you
is a
pissed
thing.
yourself in the pod.
Maybe it's an astronaut.
It's all coming together, right?
Maybe it's an astronaut thing. Maybe it's an astronaut thing. Maybe it's not an athlete thing. It's out there, man.
Jeff Crushell would know.
Crusher
would know this. He'd give you the brand.
I
He'd
did
sell you one
not
today if you need.
make this up. And if I did make it up, it's $1 billion idea. But it's a thing. I don't know what they're called, but
You put it in the shop? You put it in the shop, hey? The Edmonton Sports Talk. You can buy a.
That would be yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it's the thing. But no, it's funny you bring up that maybe it was a dream. I had a dream last night, and I remembered it. And you know what the dream was? I was driving in the truck, going by Wayne's Sports Cards. But Wayne's, you know how things are different? Wayne's wasn't where Wayne's is. Wayne's was where the Italian center shop was.
Oh.
Tell me what this dream means.
Big lot.
It probably means I'm hungry to crack some packs, I would think. But anyway, it was Connor Bedard's Series 2 release day. And in the dream, the lineup went as far as the dream was. Like, I just kept driving and being like, when does this line end for Connor Bedard Series 2 opening day?
So
And it just kept going for the entire dream.
Like down the road, you just kept driving down
I just
the road.
kept driving, and there's just a lineup of people that just kept going.
That's good business for Wayne.
That was the dream.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Upper Deck Series 2 release day for the Connor Bedard 1-of-1 Young Gun Hunt will be an amazing day for Wayne Sports Cards. There's no kidding about that. Dusty, you heard about it from the locker room for that one college team. Their urinals tell them if they're dehydrated. See?
College, of course. That would be the.
I knew. Yeah,
that
of
would be
course
the
it's
realm
college.
where all the money is, but.
Yeah, but why do you need to look at your own urine to see if you're dehydrated when the urinal will tell you? That's way easier.
In a programmed voice, which is.
Yeah.
That's the fun of it all, right?
Yeah. All right. Should we have a
We got to do the switch.
Yeah, we definitely have to do the switch. Let me see here. I got to find beer of the week. Okay, here we go. And we have a minute and 16 seconds to switch things over for beer of the week.
Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week on The Nielsen Show, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
And we are ready to go with 19 seconds to spare, boys. Well done. Dusty, Lieutenant Eric, Scott Laurie is in from Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. If you've not yet subscribed to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquor podcast, make sure you do. You don't have to listen to the rest of our show. You just get the Beer of the Week segment with Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. We got a gift certificate that we're going to give away a little bit later on. That'll be done via text message. So if you're watching in the Nasty Chat, get the phone ready. You can text in and get in on that contest as well. You know, all of this talk about the urinal, I do kind of have to go pee a little bit. I think it's just a conversation. It's just a discussion. How you doing, buddy?
I'm really good.
Hey, is this guy's mic on? There we go.
There we go. I'm still really good.
You are?
Yeah, things are great.
Yeah, you're up. Well, you're heading off on vacation here,
Tomorrow morning.
My
Mexico.
God. Off to
Vacation
Mexico.
Eve.
Mexico.
Vacation
Yeah.
Eve. That's a great.
Yeah.
Jeez, are you excited to have margarita pizzas? We were talking about this earlier in the week. I love going down there and having just a little margarita pizza you can get quickly at like the food stand, you know?
That's part of the whole all-inclusive. What am I going to eat today, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many good options, and all of it's awesome. But I think my kids love the ability to just walk into these, buffets, and the way place we go is like kind of like a food court. So there's like a crepe place and a Chinese place,
And it's all included.
It's all just whatever you want.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, all inclusive are the best. Can't wait for Mexico. Stoked.
I'm probably like your kids. Like, I don't want the big fancy dinner.
No.
I just want to go in and get some chicken wings.
Yeah,
You know, like,
at any time of day.
God, so how long are you going for?
A week. I get back at Thursday at midnight, and then back.
You're coming
here
right back in.
Come right back in.
Does this guy grind or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love
so
the
a week.
bookend of your trip. Like
Yeah.
the front back, like we get the good, and then probably the Mexico good.
It's funny, like the next time we talk to you, but in Mexico the whole time.
Yeah.
And we would have been here grinding and working hard, right?
You're gonna be so tanned.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I'm just hopeful when I come back that this bright light isn't going to show all just this awful peeling.
It's a real good
no,
bump.
like,
Cap game,
it's
cap
not
game.
good. Yeah, it's not good.
Well, what we said when we had our friend Bruce come and set up all the lighting, I said I want it to really bounce off the head of bald people that sit in between
Success.
us.
I heard you say that.
Yeah.
Success.
And hey, mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
I have a good surface area for you that light to bounce off of.
All right, let me move my tea here, and we're running out of waters for guests. Do you want one? I'm drinking
I'm
them
good.
all, so-
No, I don't drink water. It's bad for you.
Half of my drink water.
You don't drink water.
So I do.
Well, you got to go down to our urinal and find out if you're dehydrated or not. All right, what do we have here today?
Okay, so we are going Buffalo 9 Brewing. So very fitting with Remembrance Day this week. This is another cool story with these beers. So Buffalo 9's brewing mission is to honor and tell stories of Canada's military, first responders, past, present, preserve stories. So all of these beers have a really amazing tie to military first responders.
Okay, cool.
So the beer of the week itself is called First In, Last Out, and it's a in honor of firemen.
Okay.
It's a red ale. So we got another red ale that we're going to try. You know, it seems really
Red
trending.
ales are really buzzing this fall.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Red ale.
and
Man.
they've all been good so far. So, but we're going to start. There's a Peril in the Atlantic, a Pilsner. We've got a mango passion fruit wheat ale, which is Dear Aunt Emma, and then we've got the Ridge, which is a New England IPA. So, kind of each one of these beers has a story. Again, everything kind of Buffalo 9 throwback to. There was an aircraft in 1974 with peacekeepers that was shot down. So that Buffalo 9 was kind of their emblem, their group. So that's why they throw back to that. So again, really cool stories. I think we should start with the Pilsner.
You ain't kidding with the stories. I mean, these write-ups are amazing, and they go into quite large detail. And,
Oh, yeah.
And each of them have a very different and unique story.
100%. And I think that's kind of what they're trying to do is throw back to not only, you know, the past, but the present, you know, the first responders as well as military, just really kind of honoring everybody that serves for all of us, right? Like, so the first one here is called the Peril in the Atlantic. It's a 5% Pilsner, based on a battle from World War II. Again, the stories, when you read the cans and these ones, and the labels are beautiful. We have done these guys once before. They've been around since 2019, but two that we're going to try, the Dear Aunt Emma and the First In, Last Out, are both brand new. So we have tasted
This is for the HMCS Geesborough, I do believe, and the ship's name is also the namesake of Kelsey's hometown.
Yeah,
which
one of the
I assume
owners.
would be. So that, I mean,
Yeah.
what a connection.
All of these beers have that, like there's a two-pronged connection
Yeah,
to all
like
of them. They're brilliant stories. And like I said, the story can be great, the label can be great, the beer's got to be good, and it is. So, I mean, let's try the Pilsner.
Well, let's toast to everybody who has served
Sure.
and everybody's serving now.
Cheers. Pilsner.
Oh,
Clean.
well, yeah. Clean Pilsner, drink a dozen
No
of them.
peril in the mouth. That goes
Yeah.
down good.
Yeah.
Goes down real good.
And there is a way to do a Pilsner wrong. Not that one. 5% alcohol, really nice. Still has a little bit of flavor when you kind of come through, but clean is the best word for that one.
That's really good. I like that one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the Dear Aunt Emma. So this one is mango passion fruit wheat. So you're going to get a ton of passion fruit coming through on this one. Smooth taste, smooth mouthfeel. 5% again. All these kind of the wheat ale is going to have that, again, wheat taste to it.
Yep.
This one here is the story of Kelsey's grandfather in World War II, serving with the 1st Hussars Regiment, 2nd Canadian Armored Brigade. So this is kind of a summertime beer. I would say, again, tons of generous amounts of mango puree, passion fruit puree added during the fermentation. So really nice kind of even when it's cold outside, nice to have a summertime beer.
Cheers to Jack Campbell, who goes down to Baco trying to find his game and come back and save the Oilers' season. Did Tommy laugh over there? My God, Tommy, can you be any more biased against Jack Campbell? Tommy Gazzolo's over in the hangout getting ready, and he starts laughing at the toast for Jack Campbell.
I think that was again, I'm a pretty positive fan. I'm going to say that that was the answer.
Pass me that one. I just want a little bit
That
more.
was
This
the
one.
answer.
That's getting Jack Campbell out of here. The team's going to turn. It's onward and upward from this point on. I may be in holiday
We'll
mode.
talk to you next week.
How many of these do you have in the parking
I
lot?
might be in holiday mode. but
Sounds like your head's already down in Mexico.
It could be. It could
I just
be.
want to try this again because there's a lot going on there.
Again, you're going to taste all of that passion fruit and mango.
Yeah.
Really balances out. Sometimes it balances out that wheat ale. It's not too weedy. So you get that really nice, not super sweet, just a beautiful, balanced, smooth mouthfeel.
If that's what passion fruit tastes like, I might actually like passion fruit. I've
passion
never
fruit
had
guy.
it before. And that's delicious.
That's the Drake,
yeah.
the Drake album, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Drake? Does
Drake have an album called Passion Fruit?
Something or other like that?
Could be.
Weird.
Anyway, you like passion fruit. Passion fruit's great in beers. We have had.
What's
a
a passion fruit look like? I've worked in produce forever.
I'm trying to
I'm
think.
gonna look up what it looks like right now.
I feel like it looks like.
Maddie, how'd you
there
get that
go.
so quick?
Like a mango almost, but it's not.
Like a pink.
It's kind of like a star fruit, hey?
Like a pomegranate almost.
Yeah. It looks like a sort of big old pink pomegranate there.
Delicious. Looks like a lot of work. Like it looks like a lot of work to get that.
I'm not. In general, I don't think I'd be very passionate about it. Like the look. It doesn't look like.
I think I'm gonna stick to passion fruit in my beer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Exactly.
stick with that. So
all right, what's
delicious. That's the Deer Aunt Emma. So now let's go. This is the actual beer of the week from Buffalo 9. It's $12.99. It's the first in, last out red ale. So we're gonna go again with another 5% low IBU. This is the kind of the first in a series that they're gonna do with this first in, last out. Again, this is the Fireman edition of it.
Calgary Glenn chimes in at the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Buffalo 9 is a great husband and wife family brewery out of Calgary. One of, he says, his local favorites.
Yeah.
And that's coming from the source in YYC. So
again, all of these craft breweries are started by a lot of them are just families, right? Like it's husbands and wife that are trying to brew and start something.
But these write-ups and stories are like
amazing.
very in depth. I've never seen somebody put so much care and attention into why they call the beers what they do and the stories behind them.
Yeah, and this one again honors the bravery and dedication of firefighters. They sought to get firefighters' opinion on the can, it's a nicely balanced, easy drinking red ale, 5%.
His neighbors.
Cheers to my neighbor and my brother-in-law, who are both firefighters. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to them.
Cheers to Keith and Brian. That doesn't even taste that red ale-ish,
no, it's more of a. I think we had another one, more of a caramel-y type of.
This one's very malt forward.
Yeah.
So you're getting more.
It's what is
malt
it?
forward?
Malt forward.
Malt
cool.
forward. So a little less caramelly for sure. You can see by the color, it's a little closer to an amber colorish rather than that kind of that red ale. But the more you drink this one, and I find the more even just as it sits in my mouth, you're going to get more of those caramel kind of flavors coming through. Yeah. So it's a different. When it hits you is a little bit different with this one. So very, very cool beer. And that is, again, beer of the week for this week from Buffalo 9. So the next one and the last one we're going to do is the Ridge. This is the IPA. So again, this is ramping up the IBUs on this one, ramping up the alcohol. It's 6.5% on this one. It's a full citrus aroma, tons of flavor. And this one here, throwback to, this is their first release that they ever had. And
this is where it started.
This is where it started.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The nose on this.
How about
significant.
How about that's
significant nose.
Awesome IPA, citrus, deliciousness. Makes you salivate before you even touch the beer. But there's a ridge in France that was captured by Canadian Corps in World War I and is seen as a defining moment for Canada. So that's
all right. Well, let's do it. Cheers to the 1,000 people who have now favorited us on TuneIn.
TuneIn.
On the TuneIn app. That's awesome. So cheers to that.
Really good.
Man, I just have so much become an IPA guy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
There's so much going on in an IPA. There's so much flavor.
That's really good.
That was very flavorful. That's
really, really lots going on in that beer. And I love, again, we kind of hit from everything from a Pilsner if you're in the mood for that kind of clean, crisp.
Yeah, they got a full, you can run the full gamut here.
Full gamut, mango, passion fruit, so you get that kind of, fruity style. $12.99.
Do they just have these four, or is
no? They've got more.
Oh, they got more too.
Yeah,
okay.
and you'll find in our stores you'll have a different selection. There's the last time we did two other ones.
Did you bring this one in? The Sisters in the Sky Chocolate Stout.
We did that one last time.
That was
last
last
time.
We
done
did
the chocolate stout.
We done the chocolate stout
Man,
last time.
chocolate stout.
Yeah, no, you're scrolling through the website.
I love it.
It's
Great
amazing.
website.
You should check out the beers, read the stories, find out about the history of these
I want
guys.
to go to the brewery though.
Yeah,
I want to check it
too.
out, given everything they kind of showcase here. Eh?
Yeah, great stories. Buffalo 9.
So
$12.99.
if you're down in Calgary, go check it out.
Hit them up. Yeah.
No, that's really good. All right, we do have a gift certificate. So text us 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. I didn't see this. 780, sorry, if you're listening on TuneIn or at EvansSportsTalk.com, Scott just threw up a bottle of Wayne Gretzky number 99.
Well, he put it on the table. He didn't throw it up.
So I guess that's happening right now. But if you want to get in on the gift certificate, 780-218-9999 and just say, beer me. And one of you will get hooked up with a $50 gift card to Sobeys and Safer Liquor. You can go hit this up, or you can save it for when we drop the 6 o'clock lager. And you know what? I was going to ask you. So we're planning like a launch party at Alley Cat for the 6 o'clock lager. Now, is this a thing where we go and we just get hammered off our own beer, or like because we're inviting like some clients and some VIPs and stuff. Do we just sort of have one? We taste it. Oh, this is a great beverage. Or are we sitting there and I'm being like, you know what I want to test? I want to see how awesome these are to shotgun. And then we have to shotgun our own beer the first day we have it. So
Right.
like you guys are invited, the Sobeys crew, not Jeff. Jeff from Calgary's not invited. But you can definitely come bring some friends. But how do we what's our mindset going into this, like our first tasting party of the 6 o'clocker lager?
I have a feeling the beer is going to be so good. We might go in going, it's a client, we're, mixer. It's, let's taste it. Let's be professional here. And yourself, the best nights, the best days, the best afternoons when you go out, I'm just going for one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's a runaway. It's going to be a little tricky.
We've been joking a little bit about just scheduling our own EST stats where we just take the next day off because we can.
Yeah, a day
I
in
feel
lieu.
like maybe after our beer launch party, maybe it's a stat and we're not even in the next day. It's like
it might have to be.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll leave it open as an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the draft, you might even have a sample or a can by that point, for that draft day.
For that draft. Yeah, we might have samples for that.
It'll be
By
pretty
then, 'cause
close.
what
We should
day
have
is
it by then.
Is that the
'cause
24th?
We'll have it probably.
Yeah.
We'll have it in store, almost ready to go. We're gonna hide it a little bit, but
sneaky.
But yeah,
The 24th is our watch party where there's caps? We're hoping for.
could have your.
What do you mean we're hoping for? We'll just do it.
locked it in.
Well, let's lock it in.
Oh.
Could,
I think we can lock it in.
could have the beer. It's a little sneak peek of the
Let's
beer
lock
by
it
that
in.
point.
Hey, you can awkwardly put your
Okay,
okay, so
Yeah. So, but
I'm just
I-
wondering, is that because I'm emailing back and forth with Cam and Alley Cat, and he's like, invite as many people as you want. Let's do it up. And I was like, you don't even know what you just got into.
Yeah.
Am I gonna sleep at the back of Alley Cat on some crates of 6 o'clocker lager? Maybe. So
just hugging it, just hugging a
Yeah.
pallet of 6 o'clocker lager. Oh, come with me now.
Well done. I'm gonna hit that. Yeah, me laying on a thing of 6 o'clocker lager at our tasting party. That's great.
You're gonna live with me now. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. Because I love you.
That is what we're doing with the 6 o'clocker lager. We're gonna need to get an additional fridge here for just more 6 o'clocker lagers.
Yeah, that little beer fridge is not.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to. I'm worried about using that other fridge. I don't know if you were listening earlier because somebody might poison us.
Yeah.
But if it's all cans, well, how can you? I don't know why Maddie thinks. Like Maddie thinks that nobody's gonna poison us.
I've put things in there and have not been poisoned.
Yet. Really? How are you feeling right now?
I feel great.
Okay, so today you weren't poisoned, but who knows about next week?
Why do you think someone's going to poison you here?
It's the slow play. Maybe they're trying to get you
How can you be
confident.
trustworthy of everybody?
Exactly.
That I worry about that.
Matt, you're on LSD right now and you don't even know it. They've just been increasing the dosage each and every day. Now you're like, this is normal. It's all.
All right. So what is this?
Yeah,
What
so
is this?
I know you guys were talking about kind of, clunk. We're talking.
Does it
about
go
kind
in
of-
tii?
Of course it does.
It does?
We're talking about.
Yeah, it can go
of
in
course
tea.
It can.
It's just like adding a cream or a milk, right?
Do you take milk or cream in your tea?
Make some room in there.
You could put milk in tea?
Oh, come on.
Come on.
No, but I would think. Why
Yes.
would you mix milk and water
Gives
together?
more of a body
I
to
like
it.
a little bit of milk in
Yeah,
my tea.
it gives a bit of a body
Really?
to it.
Yeah. Oh, you guys have never done this.
Just a little bit of color.
Just a bit. Yeah, no, you don't want
So
too
what
much.
do you say?
cuts the
Because they
bitterness.
always go. I say I'll take a peppermint tea with 2 honey, and then they say, "Is that would you like it like black?" I'm like, yeah. I just want peppermint tea with 2 honey.
One milk.
One milk.
One milk.
No
Yeah,
cream.
one
Milk.
No cream. Has to be milk.
You got it. Man, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, so
All
this.
right, I'm doing it tomorrow.
Yeah, do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Or pour this in there. Okay, so I know you've talked about the Baileys. I just prefer. This is made with real cream. It's just a really.
This is the Wayne Gretzky.
This is the Wayne Gretzky. It's just made. It's just a really really good cream liqueur. Bailey's is great too. Bailey's is like the standby. Everybody's house at Christmas has Bailey's. This is just a good alternative.
We're
They make
rocking the
this-
Kirkland here in there.
Yeah,
that's good.
you know, like it's just anything you can get made with real cream is the biggest piece, and made with good whiskey.
But
and Irish
Wayne's
whiskey.
cream. That's
But
I love Wayne's cream.
Who doesn't?
You go to the great one,
right?
You want the best.
You want the
great
best, you go to the great one. So
This smells delicious.
It's really good. You can. So I mean, it's better over rocks. Probably not in a glass that we pour.
No, but a
that's
good
what we need
test is
do.
to have it on your own.
We need
too.
to get ice in our freezer over there. In the.
Would you put it in
in
the
the
Here, you
poison
wanna put
fridge?
ice in the
Poison
freezer?
You can't.
The poison
you
fridge?
can't-
You can't put it because somebody will
You can't
tamper.
poison ice.
What do you mean you
Poison ice. It's frozen water.
Exactly. How
I'm
are you
not
supposed
having
to
this debate anyway.
Poison ice if it's frozen. What are you gonna do?
Before
it's frozen,
add the
sure,
poison.
But if we bought a bag of ice and put it in there, how would they add poison to it?
Yeah.
They're gonna melt the ice and then add. I don't think so. I think the poison would run off the ice because it's frozen.
How are they gonna poison your water?
Well, they would open up the water and put poison into the water. Oh, Maddie doesn't understand poison at all. he just doesn't.
That's because he's high.
Matt, listen.
That damn LSD.
Matt, listen. If when you stop doing LSD, you can talk to us.
We're all
I mean,
poisoned.
I get poisoned here. It was a good run.
yeah. Okay. Sure.
It was a good
All right. I know. I worry about anyway.
Yeah, just a nice something else to try.
Tommy,
Tommy
wants a shot of this. Look at this guy,
Yeah.
raging drunk.
Made for it here.
Glue guy brought some coffees in for us.
Did he? Oh, man,
Oh.
glue guy strikes
More?
again.
Yeah, no, that's
good.
And something else. I don't even know what that is. It's a mystery package, which is kind of exciting. That's coming up on the Hangout today. All right, so cheers to the great one, obviously.
Cheers to the great one in his cream.
Cheers. How good is that? How good is that?
Holy smokes.
How good is
And
that?
you're supposed to mix this with something?
You can. I mix it with ice.
Yeah, on the rocks is
Yeah,
nice.
a little bit
But
of
that's
ice.
a good test of a good liqueur, hey? Just to
Yeah.
have it on its own, not masking.
Well, and
the,
you can see the glass. Like, I mean, you can see how the cream. It's thick, kind of coats your mouth.
Yeah.
You still get a little
really
bit of
good.
taste of the alcohol kind of finish, but it's a beautiful.
Me to this bottle of Wayne Gretzky right now.
You're gonna live with me now. I'm gonna take care of you
Never to be seen again.
God.
because I love you.
It's delicious. I think through the Christmas season.
I love you, Scott.
This is like his 215-point season right here.
Yeah.
Like that's unmatched. That's
you're
delicious.
tasting that photo of him laying down on the
On the
you
couch.
know,
Yeah,
you know the
on the
one.
couch,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the
That's
taste.
what that is, sir.
That's
That
the
is.
taste in visual.
God, the great one just never disappoints. It's just
no
that
mistakes.
simple. Yeah.
No mistakes.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so beer of the week.
Beer of the week, Buffalo 9,
Okay.
$12.99.
Are we keeping this or are you taking this?
No, that's for you.
Beautiful.
That's for you.
Beautiful. Thanks, Scott.
That's for
Yeah,
you.
round of
There
applause
we
for
go.
Scott.
Guy's going
There
on
you
a
go.
trip and he gives gifts.
Yeah,
This is amazing.
this guy, you could have taken this down to Mexico with you.
Christmas spirit.
But instead, you left it
Exactly.
here.
Christmas spirit. That's right.
Yeah, no,
Holiday,
that's great.
holiday moods.
All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you can see our wrap behind Scott's shiny head, we got it done at William Huff. Go to williamhuff.com. They've been around since 1972. Lieutenant Eric, what did you learn on the show today, buddy?
The Vancouver Canucks are eyeing a right-shot defenseman on the trade market.
Bouchard. Desharnais.
You said it.
They already have Myers. Maybe they're a huge fan of Giants.
Imagine those
That's
two
interesting.
towers out there. Eh?
Oh, well, look at the Canucks. How about this? Like, they have a great start to the year, and now they're adding, and they're like, let's go.
It's not even American Thanksgiving.
If the Vancouver Canucks win the Stanley Cup this year, Edmonton fans will.
God.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's it.
That's the energy we're
That's the exact reaction there.
Gross.
Yeah, that is not ideal. We would say that for sure. Did you learn anything today on the show?
I learned that Jack Campbell being sent down is the answer, and everything's upward.
Yeah,
onward and
yeah,
upward.
that's big, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see how that sorts it out.
That's what it is.
I learned that Matt apparently is not worried at all about us being poisoned in this building where we don't even really know our neighbors, but we're going to put all of our trust into them.
How do you know I'm not going to poison you?
Uh-oh.
I would assume at some point you do try to poison me. Why do you think I'm not leaving my stuff around? Like, well, we'll see. Yeah, I know. I guess. Yeah. All right, let's get to your. We got a few good options for sound of the day. I mean, this really hit today. This was good. This is that dramatic, like, today on the Nielsen Show, the guys tried Wayne Gretzky's cream. And it was delicious. Right? Like,
We're on the right track.
yeah, I mean that's
little
what
bit better
that
script
bet is.
writing and be-
That's
the,
what that bet is
yeah,
made
yeah.
for. I mean, the sound of the day though has to be what's probably going to tie into the text of the day as well, and that's Doc Holliday in Tombstone.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me. Should he not won every Oscar possible for that role?
It's got to be top 5 characters in a movie.
Yes, I said top 10. I love that you're taking
I
the
love
top
it.
5.
And again, I'm not a movie guy,
No,
but
so your opinion might not matter.
no,
on
it's
it.
true. But that movie stands out.
Yes.
I love that man. That character stands out. He made that movie.
Yeah. I
If
love
Val
your top
Kilmer
5
dressed and talked like that, you'd say, "Oh, that's just his."
Yeah.
Like that's
him.
It's the part you were born.
Did
to
we
play,
not
baby.
do an all-time movie character draft? I think I took Doc Holliday. Yeah, I think we did that
Sounds
already.
familiar,
Yeah.
Cross off the list.
There's another thing that we can probably mix that in again. Anyway, let's see. Text of the day today. Here's 3. I'm going to give you 3. You guys can work together here and decide
I think
which
we
of
let the guest.
Okay, all right. So, Scott, you can pick
choose
today. So here are the 3. Telling Ryan Rashog to put down his knife and fork when eating chicken wings.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
You are getting the clip with the.
Can you hear it? You want me to? I'll hang that out there. Me when I tell my wife it's too early for Christmas things.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Right, the wife, like on that side, I can see that one as well. And then this one, me in first aid training, and the teacher's telling me to not use my tongue during mouth to mouth.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
It's the third one for sure.
Imagine that. Like, set that scene, eh? Like you're sitting there and it's just on the doll.
You get the mustache.
And you're just in there and he's just like,
Whoa.
Sir, you're not supposed to French kiss the CPR doll.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
For you to say to me. Northside Sandwich. Northside Sandwich wins text of the day. Coming up on the Hangout today, Glue Guy is in. Brought coffees and a mystery ball of some sort.
Looked like homemade cereal.
Yeah.
Individual.
See, I grew up in a house
portions.
where my mom didn't make anything ever. So anytime I see somebody do this, I'm like very baffled by it. I'm like, this is incredible. You made this at home? It's just, it's nuts. All right, that's going to do it for the Nielsen Show today. Stick around. Hangout should be a fun one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, enjoy Mexico.
I will.
Bring me back a leftover margarita pizza. That'd be great next week.
Okay.
I think that'd be great. All right, that's going to do it for us. For Mr. Lean and Mr. Sprinkle and YouTube Trev and Lieutenant Eric and Scott from Sobeys, I'm Dustin Nielsen. Stick around for the Hangouts coming up. We'll be back tomorrow to set up the Edmonton Oilers and their bare butt spanking of the San Jose Sharks. They'll be putting on them tomorrow with Pickard in between the pipes.
Bring the shirt.
The 5XL Goonie shirt tomorrow morning on the show. What a day we have for you. Have a great day. Tell friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. Take it easy.